Sets you up for a Saturday at the races.
I found myself a good horse.
The team rides in every Saturday morning from 10:30.
We have got a very, very special guest this morning.
We argue over form, talk with a few of the day's stars, and uncover the nuggets that could turn a profit on the punters.
Lindsay Park runners over the line. They're probably the stable I'm keenest on.
Jason Bonington, Matt Welsh, and the Tabs Nick Quinn rolling right up to the racing on a good horse. 10:30 Saturday mornings on RSN 927.
RSN 927 rolls out more Victorian Trots news and more Victorian Greyhound news in our new 10 a.m. reports. 10 a.m. Tuesday, the week's Victorian Greyhound news in Off the Leash. Wednesday, the statewide Trots update, 1 out, 1 back. And Thursday, the ID18 update as Victoria welcomes back the Inter-Dominion. More Trots, more doggies. Part of RSN 927's new 10 a.m. reports. Catch them live or later on podcast.
Even I could've
Hey guys, I'm Jess. And I'm Lisa from the Veronicas for RAD. Recording artists, actors and athletes against drink driving. What does it mean to be a designated driver? It means you're the friend who's agreed not to drink, not the person who's had the least to drink. It's cool to do and it shows you care about your friends. If you screw up just once, then your life changes forever. Face it, their lives are in your hands. So why don't you and your friends take it in turns to be the designated driver when you go out? You'll make the road safer for all of us.
Got a big game this weekend? Here's where to meet up. The Mail Exchange Hotel, just 5 minutes walk from Etihad. Ales, wine, superb food and tab terminals. The Mail Exchange Hotel where footy fans meet up. Corner of Bergen Spencer Street City, right opposite the steps at Southern Cross Station.
Come and see the bigger, better Bayswater Jayco. Check the brilliant range of caravans and campers. New and pre-loved. There's finance to get you on the road. Repairs and service from the experts, including insurance work and an accessory shop with all the essentials, gadgets and extras. Bayswater Jayco really has got it all. All you have to think of is where to go. Bigger, better Bayswater Jayco. Canterbury Road, Bayswater.
This is the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
I can't hear you.
That's probably a good thing. Our lead caller today, and Lucy Watker.
Thank you very much, Peter. Very excited to be here for the qualifying final for the VFL Women's. Hawthorn versus Collingwood to finish top and second on the ladder. So should be a very, very good game here at North Port Oval. And beautiful conditions as well. Great sunny day. Unfortunately, we've got the sun in our eyes in the grandstand, but I don't think that'll hold us back too much. Both sides have selected pretty much full strength, so we've got lots of AFLW talent on show today at North Port Oval. And on special comments, we have Neve Felton and Sasha O'Doherty. Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you going?
You're good. How are you guys thinking about the game today?
I'm excited. Like you said, perfect conditions for football. So, you know, we should hopefully a free-flowing, high-scoring game, potentially. Yeah, I'm really excited. Like you were saying, lots of AFLW talent on display. Two big clubs in Hawthorn and Collingwood, so there's a fair amount of people here as well, and a few like Essendon and Richmond supporters getting around as well because of the men's game after. So I guess like 4 of the biggest clubs in town playing here today, and so there's a pretty healthy crowd, so it should be a good match.
Yeah. Sasha, what are you thinking about the game today?
I've been looking at when they last met each other and how close it ended up being 28 versus 21.
Yeah.
Hawthorn obviously had a loss that day, but it shows that they're in form. It's going to be interesting now that it's a finals berth that they both want and they don't want to have to replay again. So hopefully we're in for a close one. But yeah, I still think the Pies are pretty strong.
Yeah.
I think they've got a method that's working for them at the moment, and I don't think that's going to change. So it'll be a tough day for the Hawks.
Yeah, I was looking today at the last few games these teams have both played, and Hawthorn, they've beaten Geelong and Northern Territory in Northern Territory, mind you, for their last 2 games of the season, whereas Geelong have had comfortable wins over Western Bulldogs and Southern Saints. So it's sort of, to me, is that sort of playing out like Geelong and Melbourne last night. Geelong, Freo, Gold Coast into the finals, whereas Melbourne had to defeat West Coast in Perth. and also GWS. So 2 stronger teams. Do you think playing a better opposition coming into finals will help your performance on the day?
It's a good point to make. I do think that, yeah, they do have one up where they did beat the Thunder, which is something that Collingwood didn't do. So I think that shows that they certainly can win against those tough sides. In regards to Geelong, they're having a great season at the moment as well, and they're one of the wild cards that sort of popped through in the last maybe 3 or 4 rounds.
Yep.
But yeah, just going by, you know, the Maggies, again, yeah, the only thing they've really done wrong is lose against Thunder, 10 points. I mean, it wasn't a lot in it either, so...
And to be fair, that game, both sides were resting their better players.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They were probably about, I'd call that game 80% strength, so it was good sides, but they were both holding their cards very close to their chest.
Yeah, yep.
Knowing that they would obviously meet here during finals football. It was interesting to hear a comment during the week from Breanne Harvey, who's the VFLW manager at Box Hill. Her thinking was the sunshiny weather, the fast track would better suit her Hawks team.
Yeah, not a bad comment to make. Like, Pies do play better in wet weather from what I've seen over this season itself. Today is perfect conditions for football in general, but if that's what the Hawks play better on, then hopefully they can prove that today.
Well, as we hear the Magpies theme song going as they head out to the ground, I guess the critical question today, Neve Felton, is what can be done to curb the influence of Chloe Molloy?
I knew you were going to say that. I was like, curb the influence of... Yeah, look, I think you've just got to... I mean, we saw last year in the finals, Libby Birch played a really tight role on her and nothing... she still, I reckon, had the better of Birch. And so I think you've just got to make sure that she doesn't get the space and opportunity to kind of hurt your team. I don't think she responds well in that it works for her if you're up on her and trying to annoy her like Birch did last year. I think you've just got to limit her options, and so that way you can limit her impact as well around the ground. And it is hard because, you know, if she's having a bad day down one end, you can swap her down the other and then potentially run her through the midfield. But I think keeping a close eye on her, trying to anticipate what she's going to do, is going to prove better than just playing a hard tag on her.
One player I'll mention as well, Sasha, an unsung hero from Collingwood, simply because she's not kicking goals, because she's playing the role of centre-half back, has been the year of Sarah Darcy.
Sarah Darcy, yes. Again, a versatile player like Molloy, but being put in that position at the moment, she's showing some real big strengths that not a lot of other contenders can come up against her and come out better. She seems to be able to go straight back in each time. Very strong contest person, Darcy is. So be interesting to see how they match her up today.
Lucy Watkin, just looking at the Hawthorn list. First of all, great news during the week. Julia Crockett-Grills. She's been picked up. She'll play for Geelong in the AFLW.
Yeah, she will, and I think that's a really big reward for effort for Julia, like the signing of Meg McDonald, someone who I think has worked really, really hard to find themselves an AFLW list. And what we've seen from Julia is just she's got a huge tank. She just runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, and is also really good at getting the contested ball. So she goes from contest to contest and quite often is the one that comes out with the ball. So she's got plenty of strength for someone who's only played for the Hawks the last 2 years and has come from Knox. So it's a great reward for effort for Julia, who's worked really, really hard to find herself in that spot.
And Neve, I noticed in for the Hawthorn side, she's been in and out of the side. They've brought her in for the finals, most likely because of her experience playing in a premiership years ago with Diamond Creek. That's one Diana Haynes, who, of course, as we know, spent some time off the year before after having a baby.
Yeah, so, you know, impressive to come back and play so well. And I think having experience in finals is really going to benefit Hawthorn particularly. I mean, it's going to benefit anybody, but I think particularly Hawthorn. I mean, last year, obviously, as Box Hill, they were really inexperienced side. This year, they've kind of become an amalgamation of Eastern Devils and Box Hill Hawks. And the last time I saw the Hawks play it was against Darebin, and they just had trouble closing out the game and being able to push home a win. I think when Darebin would enter their forward 50, they just seemed really unsure of what to do, and they lacked leadership. I think another good in that respect is Emma Mackey from the last time I saw them play, because they just seemed like they needed someone to kind of stand up, not necessarily tell the younger players what to do, but just to give them that reassurance and the guidance when the game is getting tough of what they need to be doing and how they can put together a really solid win.
And just on that note of having a baby and coming back, Diana Haynes has done it. Dana Hooker did it to play for Fremantle. And, of course, Stacey Pearce has to be better than everybody else. I'm having twins, and then I'm going to come back.
Yeah, well, it's good in a way because, like, you get 2 out of the way in the time of one. So instead of having to take 2 seasons off potentially, you know, you get 2. You get 2 for the price of 1.
Do you think she's crossing her fingers, just quietly hoping 1 boy, 1 girl will be very nice? So therefore, I've got one for the mother-daughter rule. I've got one for the mother-son rule. We're covered at Melbourne.
Yeah, totally covered. But one thing I do want to say is that I am a twin, and when I told my mum this, my mum said, you know, she's having twins. Good luck getting back. I'm 54 and I still haven't recovered. So, but if anyone can do it, it is definitely Daisy Pearce.
Yeah, I feel that.
So we're not too far away from the start of the bounce here on the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Major Semi-Final here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio. That's digital radio throughout Melbourne, the RSN Racing and Sport app. And, of course, we're being joined on VFL.com.au, the video stream. Us ugly mugs here won't try and get our... Okay, I'm the ugly mug. They're the beautiful women, obviously, in the commentary box. They won't try and get in the way of the camera. If they do, send us a tweet and we'll duck down and get out of the way for you. We've got this game today, and as you were just alluding to earlier, Sash, as well, that big game tomorrow as well, the NT Thunder versus Geelong here at 11:45.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the result of that one as well. Again, Thunder are obviously coming down to play, but I think it's pretty even keels at the moment with those two.
And how awesome news as well for female coaches that we know that because Paul Hood will then take over the AFLW duties for 2019, his assistant Natalie Woods will step up to A, be assistant coach at AFLW level, and B, be the VFLW coach next year in a full-time role at the club.
Yeah, that's extremely exciting, not just for their particular club, but for women's football all round. And especially with Natalie, she is a great coach, and I think very well deserved, and I could see her going straight into the head job eventually, you know.
And a multiple premiership footballer as well at Darebin.
Yeah, extremely good footballer and great experience that she'll bring to that role. And again, it'll be interesting to see that happening in the season to come.
Well, we're just about ready to get underway on commentary. Peter Holden, Lucy Watkin from the Melbourne University Football Club, Neve Felton from the Melbourne University Football Club, and Sasha Doherty from the Brunswick Renegades and the VAFA. Before Lucy gets us underway, let's get some tips. Neve Felton, who wins today and by how much?
I'm going to say... this is tough. I want to say maybe Hawthorn by a goal. Not much.
Sash?
Yeah, actually, I'd love to see Sarah Perkins kick the winning goal for the Hawks today. Be a great start for her to go back into AFLW territory. So go the Hawks.
I'm going the Hawks by 14 points. Lucy, your tip today?
Well, I wanted to say the Hawks, but now that everyone said Hawks, I feel like I have to say Collingwood. So I'm going to say Collingwood by a goal.
You can lord it over us if you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the balance. We're about to get underway here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio, your home of Swiss Wellness, VFL Women's Football and VFL.com.au. To lead us off with the call of the 2018 VFLW Final Series, here's Lucy Watkin.
As we said, beautiful conditions down here in North Port Oval. Plenty of AFLW experience on the field today, so it looks like it's going to be a ripping contest to see who will make it straight through into the grand final. And finals football is underway here at North Port Oval. Hines won the tap. Dillon for Hawthorn. She won the tap down, but it was held up at ground level. It's stacks on already. Crockett Grills tried to rip through the contest for Hawthorn, but she couldn't. So it'll be a secondary stoppage right near the middle of the ground. Watton and Hines. Watton tapped down. Crockett Grills won the clearance, but it was smothered away. It's socket off the deck towards Collingwood's goal. No clean hands. Pereira, she gets it. She handballs it off to Dillon. She handballs it out to a player in Watton. Her long left foot kick up the wing is towards the boundary, but it's kept in play by Darcy. She pops it on the left boot. It's a kick along the ground that'll find Whitford. She pops it on the right in towards the centre of the ground. Malloy, she can't take a mark and is disposed of afterwards. She's got a little bit of treatment early, Chloe Malloy, but will have a throw up just near the 50.
As the umpire throws the ball high in the air, one out by Watton, got it down towards centre half back, Hurry kick goes in towards the middle of the ground. Foot race on here. Big tackle laid on by Sophie Casey. The umpire said no prior opportunity and will call for a bounce. Early impressions, Steve Felton?
Yeah, really good. I think the team that can have the cleanest possession and probably take the most marks will be the team on top here today because it's very rushed. But I feel like if you can get clean possession, you're going to be able to make the most of it. Sorry.
Umpire blows the whistle again. We don't have 11 on sheet, but I reckon it's Eliza Hines that's come into the side. So thank you very much, Collingwood, for notifying us of the late change. And sarcasm. As the ball is now in the middle of the ground, as Hutchins had the football, tried to give it away to Beesing, took the football back again. Hutchins put it on the right boot, put it into open space. Kai's running after the football. McWilliams there for support. Lambert on her hammer. In goes Kai's, went to ground. Was that too high? Yes, said the umpire. Free kick going the way of the Hawks. They have the footy. They're 60 metres out from goal, and they're attacking the left of screen.
Perkins just chucks the ball back to Kais, who's just on the centre square. She goes short, finds the player in, looks like McWilliams, on the far boundary. She's going inside 50 long, but Hines from Collingwood nearly took the intercept mark, but couldn't take it. She got it out of the 50, spoiled by Hawthorn. It's taken by Lambert. She gets the handball out, and Collingwood quickly get it out of their forward 50. Randall for Hawthorn couldn't take the intercept mark. It's in dispute by Collingwood. They're getting the run off the boundary. They're kicking long up the wing, but it's going to go over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Sash Doherty?
Look, I can confirm that is a former volleyballer, Eliza Hines, who's being the sole ruck today for Collingwood.
As we wait for the ball to be thrown back into play, Hines versus the legend in Lou Watton, who retired a couple of years ago, then took up the game again after doing triathlons. As the ball is thrown back in, missed both rucks. Got across Perkins with a hurried hand pass, going through heavy traffic to Kais. Kais now gets off the football to Watton on the far side of the ground. Kicks long and up the line. That's a gutsy mark. Oh, into the fence. Tamara Luke.
Heard that from here.
You could hear the thud. Let's hope there's no blood or anything like that. Let's just hope it was just a shoulder. She gets up. She's feeling a little worse for wear, but like any player, feels a bit better when they get the football. Well, I was going to say gets the football back, but the boundary umpire adjudicated it as being out of bounds on the full at the time she took the mark. So this will be an opportunity for the Pies to go up the line. Flying through the air case, she brought the football to ground. Going in there is Emma Mackey. Harassing her is Brittany Benici over the top. Going in there is Hutchins. Got tackled but got the kick away. Geez, that was barely 15, but the umpire still pays the mark to Paige Nash. Nash now decides to go right up the line. Pereira went for the early jump, went over her head. Ball now at half forward for the Pies. Looking for clean possession in their first inside 50. Bounced off Benici. They're going to clean up here, and it's through Ebb, who goes up the line towards centre wing. It's come off hands, and the ball's gone over the boundary line and out of bounds. Match analyst today, Neve Felton.
Yeah, the fat side of the ground is incredibly fat. I feel like if...
You're saying it needs to lose weight or something?
Yeah, I feel like it needs more players on it. I was trying to make another analogy there, but Nevism, but I couldn't. But yeah, it's very congested up along the wing, and I feel like if the players could spread across a little bit more, it would help that.
Dylan won the clearance from the throw-in for Hawthorn, but it was quickly intercepted by Collingwood. Benici, she pops it on the boot up the boundary line, but it will be paid. It was taken a mark by the Collingwood player, but it will be paid.
Out in the full.
Oh, it's out on the full?
They're having a chat now.
Umpires? Oh.
No, said it was in. Okay.
They're paying the mark, so Collingwood, they'll get their first inside 50 of the day, but no mark taken inside. It's still with the Pies. Lambert pops it on the left. It's going towards goal, but it's marked in the last line of defence by Ebb of Hawthorn. She's taking her time, assessing her options. She goes back the way that it came, and it's cut off by, I think, Chloe Malloy.
Yeah, the one and only, just picking that one off easy and just sliding in.
So she's going to back herself in here. She's about 30 metres out on a bit of an angle.
I'm actually going to mark down goal. That's how confident I am. I'm putting goal down on the sheet.
She's given herself a very big run-up. It would almost be fitting that Chloe Malloy kicks the first finals goal for Collingwood in this game. She's coming in on her approach. She pops it on the right, and it looks like it's going to fade right.
You jinxed her, Pete.
Yeah,
so
she's now ruined my sheet. I'm not happy with mine.
So it's the first score of the game. 6 minutes played in this first quarter.
Collingwood 1, Hawthorn no score here on RSN Carnival and the VFL.com.au stream as the long kick towards the pocket has come off hands. Malloy in that contest with Kim Ebb. Kim Ebb, of course, played a bit for the Bulldogs, was recruited out of Seaford. On special comments today, Sash Doherty.
Yeah, look, I think Hawks have to be careful when they're doing the kick out, just because Molloy is so good at reading the ball, and again proved that by getting a ball up.
Thrown in, Fowler versus Watton rather, as the ball hit the ground. And it stacks on the mill again. The umpire will call for another ball up as Benici helps her teammate up. Fowler will go again one more time. Watton wins it down. Hurry kick out of the pack. Only went as far as Holly Whitford, who was immediately caught there by Meg Hutchins. Allowed the Hawks to attack. They go up towards the wing, heading in the Phoebe McWilliams direction, close towards the boundary line. Being seen over and out on that occasion. And we'll call for another throw in. It was Hannah McLaren there for the Pies. Match analyst today, Nee Felton.
Yeah, one of the Hawthorn players is just coming off. She's hopping.
That's Malkais.
Yep. Malkais on 1 foot with that 2 trainers, but she's trying to walk on it now. I don't know. I didn't see any incident, but obviously something happened. Hopefully it's just...
I think she's trying to walk off because she doesn't want to end her day just yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So warm applause for Malkais as she limps off the field. We'll have a secondary stoppage after the boundary throw-in, after no one could get clean hands and possession to the ball. But she's heading straight down to the rooms. Malkais. She can't put a lot of weight on that left boot. Yeah. So hopefully nothing too serious for Malkais. The ball is still being held up on the outer wing, centre of the wing. Have a ball up. Hines wins the tap down, but it's roved by the Hawthorn player. Collingwood get hands out, finds its way to Lambert, but she's taken out by Luke almost immediately. It ends up in the hands of McLaren, but she couldn't get the kick away. No one can get a clean possession here on the half forward for Hawthorn. So the umpire comes in and says he'll ball it up. We've played 8 minutes in this first quarter.
And it's the Pies by a point here at Stannard Stadium, better known as Northport Oval. Through heavy traffic limit with a hand pass over the top. Malloy is going to go in now. Didn't go to put her head over the football on the first attempt. Went back for the second crack at it. Hand pass to Whitford, who got caught but got a kick away. Meg Hutchins tried to take a slips catch. Couldn't hang on to the football. First to it, though, is Kirsty Stratton. Stratton goes for a wild hand pass on the half-forward flank. Now half-back flank as the Hawks will try and clear towards centre wing. Nothing really on, but one Jamie Lambert. And Chops takes the footy. She gets on the right. She elects to go towards the grandstand side where it's opened up here for Nicole Hales. Hales going towards half-forward. Ball dribbles inside 50. Awkward bounce. Fowler's lurking around if they can find her out the back. 45 metres out from goal. The umpire will call for a ball up, locked in there with Tamara Luke. And we'll reset play. Umpire throws it up quickly. We're going towards the Williamstown Road end of the ground. Right of screen for those watching on VFL.com.au. Fowler goes in to lay the bump. Luke over the football again, tried to squeeze it out. Benici gets involved. And the umpire says, you hatched that, Tamara Luke. You didn't attempt to get it out. And that'll be a free kick going the way of one Erica Fowler.
So Collingwood getting a bit of ascendancy here in the halfway point of this first quarter. Fowler sends it straight inside 50. Mark couldn't be taken by Whitford. And it's just going to be tapped, punched away towards the boundary line. Daisy Bateman was the first to the boundary for Collingwood, but she could not keep it in play. So we'll have a boundary throw in the pocket for Collingwood. It looks as if Collingwood are getting the upper hand here.
Yeah, I was just about to say they're more inside 50s than anything, but they're also getting the clean ball straight across the ground rather than ball ups.
So they've been good with their ball use, Collingwood, early. Looking more the dangerous side so far as we have a ball up. Watton gets the tap down. Getting Hawthorn win the clearance towards the boundary. Darcy and McWilliams are there, but it'll only go as far as the boundary line. So we'll have a throw-in as Kirsty Stratton comes off the ground with a blood nose for Collingwood. She must have copped one late in the contest.
To put it in context, it's after 10 minutes, 1 behind, 2-0. At the same stage, a couple of weeks ago, Darcy Vesio had 4 goals. As the ball is thrown back into play, Fowler brought it to ground. Hurry pack situation. Hutchins picks it up on the outside. Kicks it long up the line. Was trying to find Phoebe McWilliams, but the kick was well and truly wide. Out of bounds on the full. Match analyst, Nee Felton.
Yeah, I think Hawthorn have had more of the ball, but Collingwood have just been so much more efficient with it. They're looking much more dangerous at the moment.
And with the ball and letting rip a slicer. And a big, strong mark taken by Tamara Luke. on centre wing, city side of the ground, gets on the right boot, goes towards half forward for the Hawks. Over the head there for McWilliams and Ruby Slicer. Perkins did some shepherding work, but it was taken away by Jamie Lambert. Lambert, though, put it right down the throat of Rosie Dillon. Dillon with the football, 55, and a 50-metre penalty. Match analyst, Sasha Doherty.
Yeah, look, that'll hopefully get Hawks on the board. That was a bit of a poor decision by the Magpies player there. But let's see if Dillon can pocket a goal for them.
Yeah, Jamie Lambert making a rare mistake there.
I think it's the pressure that's happening at the moment. I mean, Hawks were being very rushed earlier, and obviously the Pies' defence just freaked out.
So Rosie Dillon from 15 metres out, and it's the Hawks first. And here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio and VFL.com.au, Collingwood 1 behind, trail the Hawks, 1 straight 6. Match analyst Sasha Doherty.
Wonderful goal there by Dillon. Put it straight through the sticks, no issues there. And as you can hear, the fans are loving the performance. But yeah, again, as Neve said before, Collingwood have been more efficient. But in that regard, Hawks just pipped them at the post there.
A little bit of ill discipline. It's always disappointing from the restart. Watton won the tap down, but we've got a free kick going the way of Collingwood, going the way of Eilish Ross. She elects to play on and pops it on the left. The kick wasn't a great one, so it only goes as far as Hawthorn, but it's picked off again by Sophie Alexander, who gets the defensive handball back. They send it inside 50, but Pereira for Hawthorn. She cuts it off, but she couldn't get clean hands. It's socket off the ground by Ebb. It's back out towards half back for Hawthorn, but they can't get a good, efficient chain going. The kick is sent, and it's marked. Oh, no, it's not. It's been dropped, but it's been sent inside 50, and a mark has been taken inside 50 by the Collingwood player, who played on and was ridden into the turf by the Hawthorn player. So Hawthorn, they'll switch the play. They go towards Meg Hutchins on the opposite side, the grandstand side of the ground. She looks for her options. She's going to go short to Carroll, who takes the diving mark. She looks back, assesses her option, and goes long. She's looking for Perkins, who gets the shepherd from Nesta, but the umpire says, sorry, that's not allowed. So it'll be a free kick the way of the Magpies.
Yeah, shepherding more than 5 metres off the ball, as taking it is Caitlin Lee, and Lee on the right boot towards the half-forward flank position. Umpire says a push out in the context, and another one to the Pies. And the result of this free kick is to Eilish Ross. So Ross is about 65 metres out from goal. Will swing around on the left boot, pump it long towards the forward pocket. But it's all Hawks back there, and racking up the possessions is Kim Ebb. Ebb decides to go for a dangerous switch. Good spell from behind. In goes Bateman. Bateman tried to create the pressure. Pereira there for the Hawks. She is immediately caught, shrugged off a tackle. Gave a hand pass over the top. Looking for a teammate there in Everson Woods to run onto the football. Ran into immediate trouble at the half-back flank. Managed to shrug off the tackle. In goes Emma Grant for the Pies. Find out the hot hand pass. Couldn't find Hines. Chain of handballs through Lou Watton. Now trying to work it to Crockett Grills. Dropped the football while under pressure. She's on centre wing, and the umpire comes in and says it's all locked up and will call for a ball up. 14 and a half minutes gone first term. Collingwood 1 behind. The Hawks 1 straight 6. The umpire gets play going very quickly. Big booming kick for the Hawks through the hands there of several sets of players, including, by the look of it, was Pepper Randall down there. The Pies are going to send it back out towards the wing position. Getting her hands onto it there, Sophie Alexander releases the player in Lambert, who bombs away, only for Chantella Pereira, the former WNBL basketballer, to take it at the half-back flank.
Pereira, she goes inboard with a great kick to Meg Hutchins. He'll slow it up a little bit. She wants to switch the play, and she does. She comes towards the grandstand side. She goes to Pepper Randall. Who'll get on her bike. She'll go for a bit of a run, and she's going up the line. Looking for Emerson Woods, but she couldn't take a clean handle on it, so Emma Grant runs away with it, and she's taken down!
That was a great
Sarah
tackle by
Perkins. Her eyes lit up, Emma Grant, and Sarah Perkins just said no. She ran her down beautifully. She takes the kick quickly, and she sends it to centre half forward, but no one can take the mark. And it'll be a throw up, but a great run down there from Sarah Perkins.
Yeah, sorry, I got a bit excited there, but Perko, when she tackles, you don't want to miss out on that. So hopefully that's showing some more form.
Hines won the ruck. The umpire said there was a push out in the contest, and it'll be going the way of the Hawks. As that Beck Beeson, I think, is going to be taking that free kick between centre and centre half forward. Looking further ahead for the Hawks. Just over 3 minutes remaining until quarter time. Pumps it long inside 50. Was looking for Tamara Luke. Came off hands. Carroll got the hurry kick away towards the top of the goal square. Is that a mark? It's very close to the ground. The umpire said it hit the turf. It was taken on the half volley. And it's all wrapped up. The umpire will call for a ball up. And Michaela Canada was there for the Hawks that created that pressure. And the player for the Pies that couldn't quite hang on to it was Nicole Hales. Umpire throws the ball high in the air. Perkins does the ruck work and hit Darcy on the noggin as it went through, and a minor score. The Hawks 1-1-7, Collingwood 1 behind. Match analyst Neve Felton.
Yeah, really great tackle from Perko, and it's the kind of thing that I think you need to do in finals, particularly a leader like Sarah Perkins, kind of get your team up and about, because at the moment the game's good, but it's just there's no one really committing. As somebody takes a really good contested mark.
Schleicher, she just flew in from the side and took it off 2 Hawks players. Her kick short was not great trying to find Marsh. Sort of got it over the boundary, and I really feel like that Perkins tackle has been a really big team lifter.
Yeah, it
for
seems
Hawthorn.
to have fired them up a lot. There's lots more Hawks in front of us than there was earlier, that's for sure.
So the throw-in, just outside the 50 near Hawthorn's goal. Luke, she wins the tap down straight to Beeson, who got the hands back to her ruckman, but it ends up in the hands of Malloy. Her short kick is looking for Benici, and she'll run onto the mark. We're on the grandstand wing of North Port Oval. She looks to go long down the line, but it's all Hawks. It's tapped out. Grant, she roves, gets the handball away to Alexander. Her long kick inside 50. It's Van Dyke and Bateman in pursuit. But they just see it over the boundary line in the right forward pocket for Collingwood.
So we'll throw it in with 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. Can the Pies pull it back to draw even at the break? The boundary umpire now throws the ball in, spinning back into play. Fowler versus Watton. Fowler front position. Had it there originally was Ilish Ross. Lost control of the football. Hawks trying to come off their back line. Mark being taken by Tani Nesta. Nesta at the half-back flank. Works up towards the centre wing. Only for it to be intercepted. Picked off easily by Jamie Lambert. Lambert draws the player towards her. Goes to the hand pass over the top to Nicole Hildebrand. Hildebrand on the left going forward into the danger zone. 30 metres out. Awkward bounce. Kim Edred at best. And goes with a long kick out towards the half-back flank. They're on here now. Might take one bounce. Might consider a second bounce. Does so. Might consider a third bounce. 65 metres out, pulls the kick. Just short of Mick Williams over around the football. Went past Hales as well. A little pushing and a shoving. Nicole Hales keeps her feet though. Goes back in for the second effort. Hand pass backwards while under pressure, and the umpire has no choice but to call for a ball up. It's in a traffic jam at the top of the Hawks goal square. 50 seconds to quarter time. The Hawks up by a goal.
Great run there from Ebb along the outer wing. The tap down is won by Roche, who just goes for the clearing kick. It finds itself into the centre square, and it's taken by Watton, who gets the hand pass to Woods. She takes on one and is brought down, but it's not Pate holding the ball. So Collingwood, they still end up with the clearing kick. They get it outside of their defensive 50. It's Pereira and Bateman. Pereira harassing Bateman, but Bateman, she'll hold it up on the outside wing. She can't get the possession, and it's tapped out. It finds itself in the hands of Marsh, who kicks it inside 50 for the Pies, but only as far as Tani Nesta for Hawthorn. Her hand pass is defensive, and the clearing kick finds Carroll on quarter time. So the score is 0-1-1 Collingwood, 1-1-7 Hawthorn. The only goal of the quarter going to Rosie Dillon after the Collingwood gave away a 50 on the half-forward wing. Neve Felton and Sasha Doherty, how are we seeing the game so far?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, it is looking very much settled compared to the beginning where it was quite rushed for both sides, but I think Hawks definitely came in stronger, especially after Perkins lifted the side with that beautiful tackle.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling the Pies are going to come out in the second quarter playing a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like both teams kind of found their groove in the last kind of 5 minutes of that quarter. I think Kim Ebb is probably best on ground for mine at the moment. Just like a 2 or 3 really goal-saving marks, to be honest.
No, beautiful run.
And that beautiful run as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think she's really kept Hawthorn in this. Otherwise, I think Collingwood could have had a few more scoring shots.
Well, yeah, it's been a fascinating contest so far with sort of flip-flopping either way early, but I do think Sarah Perkins has lifted her side with that great tackle on Emma Grant. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the game plays out, with Hawthorn leading 1-1-7 to Collingwood's 1 behind.
We're about to throw to a break very shortly, but just to give our listeners a bit of a heads up as well, at the quarter-time and three-quarter-time break, Emma Huser, who's from the Gippsland Power, plays for the Casey Demons, hoping to get drafted. We'll hear an interview with her, courtesy of AFL Draft Central. And then Michaela Akandu, who's playing right now for the Hawks, an interview with her at half-time, again, courtesy of the team at AFL Draft Central. That's all coming up right here on RSN Carnival and VFL.com.au.
It's Peter Williams here from AFL Draft Central. Earlier in the year I spoke with Gippsland Power defender, now Casey Demons defender, Emily Horsler, and she has such a fantastic story to tell, a bit of a different background, a bit of different interests. I really recommend you give it a listen.
How did you start in football and how did you get to where you are now?
So my brothers, they always played football, and that was sort of everything I wanted to do, but it was always the boys' sport, and so my dad said, like, no, you can't play because you'll get hurt. So I started playing footy in Year 7 with the girls' team. I just loved it ever since. So I came to Gippsland Power and it's just been my thing. I think that's like, I found my groove, and yeah, sort of how I played.
Yeah. And in terms of football, what's kept you going? Like, what do you enjoy so much about it?
Just it's up and coming and exciting. Like, there's so many opportunities, and just if they're there, why not have a go and say yes to all them things? There's always room for improvement and development. So. And
you do a lot of stuff on weekends, I'm told, motorbikes, shooting.
Yeah, so we're a very outdoorsy family. So I've just done whatever the brother did and followed his footsteps. So lots of like going up the bush with the family and like that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Is that sort of the perfect sort of, I guess, weekend when you're away from footy?
Yeah, that is, and sometimes I incorporate the both. Like, obviously footy's my priority for the weekend, but if I get the Sunday off, like, we'll go up the bush, and yeah, that's our
The
thing.
Country Footy Show. Hi, it's Adam White, joining Paul Daffy every week with all the scores, all the news, and most importantly, all the great stories around country Victoria when it comes to bush footy.
Port Arlington have struggled in the Ballaroon for a long time, but they defeated Geelong Amateurs for the first time ever. Trainer Rod Smith.
Is it true that you were really emotional after the game?
Yeah, 10 others were crying. So when that siren went, you think, yep, they've finally done it.
The Country Footy Show goes up as a podcast every Thursday afternoon at rsn.net.au. It's on your radio at 5 a.m. every Friday morning on RSN 927 and replayed at 5 p.m. Fridays on RSN's digital radio channel Carnival in the Melbourne area.
This is the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Indeed, this is the VFL Women's Match of the Day here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio, the RSN Racing and Sport app, and rsn.net.au. We're streaming also today on the VFL.com.au stream. Peter Holden, Lucy Watkin, Neve Felton and Sasha Doherty with you at Stannard Stadium, otherwise known as North Port Oval. Take yourself inside, Neve Felton, to the Collingwood huddle. Penny Cula-Reid, she's chatting to her team. They're only a goal down, so what are the instructions from here?
I think it's I feel like they're attacking the contest with a little more intent. They're being more efficient with the ball. They just have to enter into their forward 50 a little better. There's been a few rush kicks or like that clear. I understand like the clearing kick from their defensive 50 gives them a bit of extra time, like potentially gains them a bit of space, but it's just those kind of like rush decisions. When I think Hawthorn are doing a really good job of putting the pressure on them, but I think a lot of it is perceived pressure, and I think that if they take that extra second, spread out a little bit more to make those decisions, they'll be a lot cleaner and they'll be able to convert a little better as well.
Sasha, just quickly from you, who do you see as the most damaging footballer for the Hawks so far?
I think Ebb. Having a great game. We were just talking about it off air, actually, saying great defence work, but also when she gets the ball, she's dangerous. She pretty much brought it all the way down for them earlier.
Well, we're just about ready to get underway for the second term here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio. To get us underway again, here is your lead caller, Lucy Watkin.
Second quarter here at Northport Oval, and it's Hawthorn 1-1-7 leading Collingwood 1 behind. No team yet has really taken full advantage of the contest. So let's see what this second quarter brings. Watton won the tap down, and it's straight into the hands of Rebecca Beeson, who sends it long inside 50. No mark taken. Luke, she taps it down. It's put on the boot of Phoebe McWilliams, but the kick just fades away and bounces out, and will be a boundary throw-in. So just in the forward pocket for the Hawks. So they're coming away early, attacking early, Hawthorn. Long time getting play restarted, but the ball is up. Watton couldn't get front position, so Hines won the tap, but it's found the hands of Rebecca Beeson, but her kick towards goal was swatted away, and Hildebrand couldn't pick it up, so it's back over the boundary, almost in that identical position on the right forward pocket for Hawthorn, and we'll have another boundary throw-in.
I'll see if I can get play cleared up here as we wait for the ruck contest. Looks like might be Tamara Luke going up this time, up against Eliza Hines. Umpire taking a very long time to throw the ball back into play. It is short. Tamara Luke, front position, taps it close towards the boundary line. First to it is Jamie Lambert. He comes up the line. Oh, what a spoil! The golden fist of Meg Hutchins, who comes flying through the air and says that ball is rejected and almost ended up in the canteen on the Williamstown Road side.
Oh, is that Pepper Randall or is that Meg?
Let's have a look there.
Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper.
They
Well, she's got the same blue boots.
Yeah, it is really confusing.
And the
They
same
wear
hair.
they wear their hair
yeah.
the same way, and they both have flashy boots.
Come
so
on, Pepper. Time to get some green boots or something like that. Help us tell her apart with Meg.
Stop living in Meg's shadow.
As the ball is now in dispute, Emma Grant is waiting for it to pop out. She receives now, got caught by Emma Mackey. Ball spilled free. Lambert with a hurry kick, heading in the Brittany Benici direction. But Pepper Randall,
Are you sure?
the Meg Hutchins look-alike, thank you very much, takes the mark.
Meg Jr.
Yeah, I like that.
The Meg.
Meg 2.0 as she goes on the right boot, goes up towards the half-forward flank position. It's a long, high kick. Umpires pulled out a free kick and said there was a push in the contest, and it's going the way of one Nicole Hildebrand. Was on the Brisbane Lions list as kicks long up the line. Lou Watton flew through the air and hands it out of bounds. Yes, Nicole Hildebrand, of course, Neve Felton was on the Lions list, is going to be playing for the Pies, also in AFLW in 2019.
Yeah, I assumed she might come back down to North Melbourne because of her connection with Melbourne Uni, but yeah, going to be a great asset, I think, to the Collingwood team. Brings a lot of experience and skill.
She was spotted at Melbourne Uni training one day.
By you? Or?
Yeah. The tap down to Rosie Dillon found its way to Ebony Nixon, who goes along for the Hawks looking for McWilliams, but she couldn't get the mark. It's Rove, finds the hands of Slasher, but she couldn't get it, so it ends up in the hands of Carol for Hawthorn. She couldn't get her kick away, so the ball now in dispute in the centre of the ground. Crockett Grills tried to run away with it, but she was wrapped up in a strong tackle by Alice Ross. So on the edge of the circle, at centre half forward for Hawthorn, we'll have a ball up. It's Watton and Hines. Hines with the tap down. No one could get an immediate grab on the ball, but it finds its way out. Nesta. She was brought to ground before she could grab it by Jessica Edwards. No prior there for her, so we'll have another boundary throw-in. Edge of the square, centre half forward for Hawthorn. Watton was pushed out, but she still got the tap. Ended up in the hands of Crockett Grills, and she was just brought to ground. So we're inside 50 now for the Hawks. The top of the 50, and we'll have a boundary. Not a boundary throw-in.
A ball up.
Just a normal throw-in.
Thank you very much. As goes away, Lou Watton. Emma Grant was there. Hurry kick around the corner, courtesy of Sarah Darcy. Now falls into space. Jess Edwards, the captain, takes a bounce. The ball got away from her. Benici was pushing off the ball with Pepper Randall. Got caught, got the ball away though. Rejected by Brittany Benici. Managed to knock it forward. Got to the adventure. Sophie Alexander is mown down from behind. The ball spills free though. Still at centre half forward for the Pies. Running into trouble is Hillary Grubb. The ball's 45 metres out from goal. Meg Hutchins does the clean-up work. Had to get rid of it before Fowler caught her. And now kicking away is Kim Ebb with a long bomb out towards centre wing on the city side of the ground. Plenty of Pies back there, including Hines, who got the kick away before being brought down. In goes Hillary Grubb. Came off her hands. Ball still in dispute. Chloe Malloy, the Rolls Royce. Malloy just went through him from 48 metres out. Open goal square. Bouncing football. Chloe Malloy gets it for the Pies. Match analyst Sash Doherty.
Oh, mate, I think that Malloy had been on the ground less than a minute and a half. I saw her run out, and there she was kicking that boomer of a goal. Again, all class all the time.
And hello to our listeners on RSN Carnival that were just deafened in that last 30 seconds.
Apologies.
Match analyst Neve Felton.
Yeah, amazing. I think it just goes, I mean, we kind of know how good she is, and then when she does things like that, it just makes it so obvious. And yeah, I think it sends a good warning message to Hawthorn as well, which just make sure you're keeping an eye on her.
Just the old left-right good night, but instead it's a dodge, a weave and a goal. Ooh, someone's been flattened out behind the play, but Pepper Randall has got the kick to half forward. Luke will have it for Hawthorn as we keep an eye on
Emma Mackey,
who's been flattened behind the play. Williams couldn't take the mark in the forward pocket for Hawthorn, so we'll have a boundary throw in, but Mackey got rid of the ball and was flattened.
Welcome to finals
straight
football.
Away.
Beware of the footsteps that you hear.
So it'll be boundary throwing in the pocket for Hawthorn after Phoebe McWilliams couldn't take that mark. She's been double teamed all day, Phoebe McWilliams, so she's found it hard to have any sort of effect in that forward 50. It was Luke who won the tap down, but only as far as the Collingwood player. It ends up in the hands of Dillons, who dodges one. She lowers her eyes and centres the ball, but only as far as Jamie Lambert. Her kick was smothered by Rebecca Beeson, who cried to get the hands to Perkins, who laid a really tough tackle. The only problem was the player didn't have the ball.
Bit of biffo out there.
Collingwood will win the free kick.
Yes.
Perko's rolled up.
Something's got Perko a bit mad.
I think you must have seen Mackey go down. It's old school VFA. You get one of ours, we'll get one of yours. As Jamie Lambert has the resulting free kick. It was on the Bulldogs list in 2017, switched the Pies in 2018. Short kick to Nicole Hildebrand. Umpire said it hit the ground, so you've got to play on. Squeeze kick around the corner, just marking it inside the boundary line. Christy Stratton. Stratton in front of the Mr. Whippy van. He'll do good business today. Kicks it up the line, finding Shayla Marsh. The sun is out and a crowd of more than 1,500 here at Stannard Stadium early on a Saturday morning. Intercept mark taken here by Beck Beeson for the Hawks. Looking for some options to her right. She's being called to kick towards the canteen side of the ground. She hangs it out there, looking in the Tamara Luke direction. A good strong grab, Luke, and shrugs off one on the way through. Says, get off me, Marsh. Then gets on the right boot, goes long and high towards the pocket. Flying through the air was Emma Mackey, came off hands and went over the boundary line and out of bounds. 45 metres out from the Hawks goal. It's 1-1-7 apiece after 7.5 minutes. Match analyst, Sash Doherty.
Yeah, interesting by Luke, very strong, and I think her, watching her and Perkins needing to get the aggression up a little bit more, it seems to be paying off for them, so hopefully they keep that up.
So Luke wins the tap down. Rosie Dillon for Hawthorn. Barrages through but couldn't get a kick away. But we've got a free kick going the way of Rosie Dillon. She was held after she got rid of it. I think she's going to have a shot here.
Dangerous Dillon.
Dangerous Dillon. She is dangerous. Played her juniors at Whitehorse alongside myself. She's a great
Who's
kick.
the more famous?
Oh no, does she have a hashtag? So Rosie Dillon, slight angle, about 40 metres out from goal. She's on the approach, she puts it on its way, and it's centering, but it won't get the distance. The mark wasn't taken by the Collingwood players in the last line of defence, but we've also got a free kick going the way of Collingwood, which will be taken by Lambert. But there's also a player down behind the play.
Is that? I was really going to suggest Hildebrand because of the orange boots, but...
yeah,
can't see the number, so can't tell who it is, but they haven't gotten up from that forward pocket yet. The ball is in dispute now on the top of the 50 for Hawthorn. It got paddled out, and it was taken out by Van Dyke, who got it back to Woods, whose kick has gone inside 50, looking for Perkins! And she just muscles out her opponent and takes a wonderful overhead grab. That's the Perkins that we all know and love.
That is. That's where Perkins has stepped up. Like I said earlier, the aggression for the play, wanting the ball more. Something got her fired up earlier, and it seems to be paying off. Now she's right out front of goal.
Yeah, it's worth getting fired up if it can make you play better. You know, she's got to make sure she backs it up. Otherwise, it's just like empty argy-bargy.
She's pumped up, Perko. She's 15 metres out, slight angle. The kick is wonderful. Straight through the middle. She kicks Hawthorn's second. It's 2-1-13 to Collingwood's 1-1-7. 10 minutes gone in this first quarter. Thoughts, Neve, Falcon and I always call you Knee Falcon and Sasha Doherty.
No, I think what Hawthorn need to do to really get their forward structure moving, I think Perkins and Luke have been great presences up forward, and they need to force the Collingwood defenders to rethink whether it's McWilliams they want to double tag or if they should try and shut down one of the other two.
Fowler won the tap, but it was immediately caught in the middle of the ground by Chloe Malloy, who was tied up by Julia Crockett-Grills. The umpire throws the ball up in the air again. Tamara Luke wins the tap down, trying to get it out to dangerous Dillon. Rosie Dillon put it on the right boot, went out towards the half-forward flank. Foot race is going to be on here. The Pies have got numbers, and Sophie Casey's maybe being held without the football. The umpire said no. Fighting in hard with her was Claire O'Donnell. They both go to ground. Sarah Perkins is hailing a cab. The umpire says there's only Ubers here, and we'll call for a ball up right here on the centre wing. So just in front of the Norm Goss stand here at Stannard Stadium, otherwise known as Northport Oval. When's the tap forward? Hurry kick up the line by the Pies. Trapped by Van Dyke at her feet. Benici immediately caught from behind by Pepper Randall. And the umpire blows the whistle and will call for yet another ball up. Match analyst Sasha Doherty.
Oh, pressure's coming up now. Everyone's tightening up their defence by the looks of it.
So Luke and Hines went it down only as far as Grills, but she tried to take a step and get around them. The umpire said we still didn't have a prior opportunity, so we'll have another ball up. Plays on quickly. It's Nash this time for Collingwood, who just is muscled out by Luke. I think she was surprised, so couldn't get a tap. Carroll got a strong tackle out to Mackie, to Dillon, whose low kick was cut off by Shalisha. She wheels and goes and pops it on the right, but only as far as Tani Nesta in the centre of the ground for Hawthorn. But there's another player that's been flattened behind the play for Hawthorn. So players is dropping like flies at the moment as Mackie. She ends up with the ball at centre half forward. Her kick is going. It's going. It's going. It's a goal! Emma Mackie. She kicked the long bomb from 50 metres out, centre half forward. She was cleaned up afterwards. So Collingwood, they're letting their presence be known everywhere but on the scoreboard at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point taking out Hawks players if you're not actually going to respond with some football that's more accurate than what they're playing at the moment. Collingwood need to really look at what they're doing on field.
And it was Julia Crockett-Grills, the one that was flattened, and she's now just going to the boundary line because they do all their medical checks. The umpire throws the ball high in the air again. Hines wins the tap down. Malloy tried to come through heavy traffic. Out to Luke, who took it for the Hawks. Popped it long in the Perkins direction, centre half forward. Just volleyball smashes it forward. Perkins calls for the 1-2. She was immediately caught when she tried to get her hurry kick away. 45 metres out from the Hawks goal. Ball still in dispute. Ripped down to the ground. A lovely tackle there for the Pies. And I think it's by Sophie Casey. The umpire will call for the ball back. Last with the footy there, Michaelia Can. You'll hear an interview with her at half-time on RSN Carnival and the VFL.com.au stream, courtesy of the crew at AFL Draft Central. Taken away there by Chloe Malloy. Kicked it in towards the central corridor. Foot race is on. Chantella Pereira got to it first, then had the ball ripped out of her hands, so she had to go back and lay the tackle. And the umpire says, let's call for another ball up. Match analyst, Neve Felton.
Yeah, I think both teams have stepped up their physical presence, but obviously Hawthorn being stepping up, like you're saying, Lucy, their scoreboard presence a lot more, which at the end of the day is what's going to count.
3-1-19 to 1-1-7. Hawks lead the Pies long and towards the forward line to Sophie Alexander. 48 metres out from goal. She dropped the ball. Now in dispute on the deck as Pereira goes in there, fires out the hand pass. Umpire said it was a throw.
Ooh.
Intriguing interpretation, but he was about 50 metres closer than us. And it is a free kick going the way of the Pies. They have it 50 metres out from goal. Unloading there, I think it's Bateman who's gone long towards the top of the square. Fowler out the back, couldn't control the football. The dangerous Brittany Benici goes for the snap off the carpet, but it's away to the right-hand side. Collingwood 1-2-8, Hawthorn 3-1-19. 14 minutes gone to the second term on RSN Carnival, your home of VFL women's football.
Hawthorn with the kick in. Van Dyke goes to herself, goes one way, but then goes the next. Pops it on the right boot and sends it long. Luke came in for the fly, but Malloy, she had a shot at goal and it was smothered by Dillon, who is playing some game, Rosie Dillon. For mine, she's been best on ground so far, Rosie Dillon.
Yeah, playing both ends at the moment.
So there'll be a throw-in in the pocket, right near Collingwood's goals. It's Nash, Watt and Luke. Luke wins the hand down to, you guessed it, Dillon. Beeson, she gets the kick out looking for Nesta. It'll sit up for her, but she's pursued by Darcy. Doesn't quite make it towards the boundary. It's taken by Whitford, who will send it in to the forward 50. Having the jump at it was Edwards, but it's been knocked out of play. So we'll have a throw-in. Half forward for Collingwood. A few tired legs out there, I think, for Hawthorn at the moment.
As we're 5 minutes away from half-time. 11-point lead to the Hawks here at Stannard Stadium, but the ball is at half forward for the Pies. Umpire throws the ball back into play. Luke versus Hines. Hines won it down, trying to put the advantage to Whitford, who quickly got it on the left boot. Went long and high to the hot spot, 35 metres out from goal. Pereira went in there. The pack got crashed. Ball hit the deck. Who's going to be first to try and get Clean's hand to it? It was a little toe poker off the ground. O'Donnell chasing after the ball, was looking for safety. Close towards the boundary line. Fowler going with her of the Pies. And now it's over and out next to the right-hand point post. Match analyst today, Sasha Doherty.
Yeah, Fowler, I don't know if she's running on a full engine after being knocked around earlier in the ruck, but definitely being double-teamed a lot of times, making it difficult for her to convert.
16 minutes gone in this second term of the major semi-final between the Pies and the Hawks in the VFLW. Taken away O'Donnell. Tried to get a clean hand pass, was knocked out of her hands. Getting in there, Diana Haynes. Also looking over the top is Nicole Hales. Will call for another ball up, 35 out from goal. Match analyst Neve Felton.
Yeah, I think Collingwood doing a really good job of locking in their forward 50. They just have to try and get a few players free to be able to convert.
Bursting through was Darcy, but she couldn't get rid of it.
Just quickly, guys, how good is the crowd here at the moment? And it's not even 11 o'clock in the morning.
It's gorgeous.
It's very good.
So many faces out there watching the women.
Luke tapped it down and won her own tap down. Tried to get the hurried kick away, but it wasn't far. It only went to the Collingwood player, but their handball was intercepted by Hutchins, who got the long kick looking for Watton. Her handball found Carroll, who'll go for a run. She pops it on the left up the line, but the Collingwood player will spoil on the far wing. Her kick is smothered by Perkins, who pops the handball over their head, but it didn't find Beeson. So there'll be a throw-in just inside the 50 for Hawthorn on the city side of the ground. So Perkins, she's definitely pumped up in this second quarter. She kicked one of Hawthorn's goals. Hines wins the tap down. Lambert, she gets the footy. Oh, dodges one, pops it on the left, goes up and down the line, but only as far as Tamara Luke for Hawthorn. She'll give the handball off to Randall, who ran into trouble, who gave the handball back, received it back again, popped it on the left, looking for Carroll, but the strong mark was taken by Nicole Hildebrand at centre half forward.
The former Melbourne University footballer now goes short to Emma Grant, the former Bendigo Thunder captain. Emma Grant off half-back flank. Now going to Sarah Darcy, who takes the mark in front of Jade Van Dyke. Gets going with a short little kick, looking for Whitford. Takes a mark. When a problem comes along, Eunice Whitford now has the football at the half-back flank. Gets on the right boot, goes towards centre wing. Broadcast side. Coming in from the side with a punch, Diana Haynes. Sees the ball over and out. Match analyst Neve Felton.
Yeah, I think Phoebe McWilliams has been stuck on the bench for some time, so I'm wondering now that the player's a little bit further to the wing, if she'll be able to come on and give the Hawks another option up forward, because they just seem to look a bit confused trying to make that entry into their forward 50.
As the ball is thrown back into play. Watton from behind. Hines at front posse. Got it to Darcy. Darcy on the left boot going up the line to Marsh. Marsh takes the mark. A minute to go. Swings around on the right boot. Looking for a target inside 50. Pereira committed to the contest early. It was a finger tipper. Went past her. Dillon couldn't hang on to the football properly, but will now receive it. Got a little grubber kick going forward. Had it through the agency there of Ebony Nixon. Got it moving forward. Looking for Tamara Luke, who got it to Beck Beeson. Beeson off the half-back flank. Really not much to go to out in the wing. Nicole Hildebrand's got space, but Steph Carroll's coming after her. Hildebrand takes the footy, spins around on the left boot, looking up for Grant, who faked she was going for the contest, went over her head. Waiting for it out the back there is Stratton. Stratton got the football into heavy traffic, looking for Haynes. Missed her. Marsh ran into trouble, and that trouble was Tani Nesta. Ball on the deck, and the umpire has no choice but the call for a ball up. Neve Felton.
Yeah, I think just spreading out. I think all the players are kind of congesting the wings. They're looking for options up the wings and kicking to either one-on-one or two-on-one contests. And I think just being able to spread out as the ball rolls over the boundary line again, being able to spread out and look for options further inboard is going to really help open the game up.
We saw Hawthorn trying to switch it earlier. They should probably, try and adopt that game style again and try and, instead of hitting the contest every time. As we approach half-time, throw-in over the heads of the ruckman, Carroll. She couldn't get it out. And there is the siren to signal half-time. Hawthorn, 2 goals in that quarter to lead 3-1-19 to Collingwood's 1-2-8. The goal scorers for Hawthorn so far, Emma Mackey, Rosie Dillon and Sarah Perkins, and the 1 goal for Chloe Malloy for Collingwood. Special comments today, Neve Felton and Sasha Doherty.
Yeah, look, at the moment it just seems to be dominating with Dillon, Luke and Beeson for Hawks. Without those 3 on the ground, I feel like it would be a very different outcome scoreboard-wise. The pressure that they are applying in all aspects of the game seems to be suiting the style of play the Hawks are putting on at the moment. And obviously Sarah Perkins got her goal straight out the front and seems to have upped her aggression, positivity, and seems to be talking a lot more out there at the moment as well.
Sarah Perkins with the team lifter in that first quarter with a run down tackle, and now with a goal in that second quarter. Neve, what's the key for Collingwood to wrestle back the lead in that second half?
I think just making smart decisions, looking for different options. I feel like everybody's making the same, not necessarily a mistake, but just not a good decision over and over again. Everyone's kicking up and down on the wings, making sure that they're spread out. And there's no one who, for Collingwood, I think, who's like a massive presence up forward like Hawthorn have with Perkins and Luke at the moment. Just looking at the list, I mean, obviously you assume that somebody like Chloe Malloy would be able to play that, but in the scheme of things, like, she's not like as I guess imposing. She's very skillful, but not as imposing as those players. I think in that last quarter, Hildebrand took a really good mark, and I think her leadership off the halfback is going to be really important as well when they're under siege in the next quarter.
For sure.
You talked about earlier about Phoebe McWilliams, who was caught on the bench trying to get on the ground. We really didn't see much McWilliams in that second quarter. Do you feel it's either A, she faded out of the game, or B, more a case of just keeping her in reserve, and when the game gets going and the game gets tough in the final quarter and it's close, bringing her out, getting her on the ball and getting her in the mix?
Quite possibly. I think it is a risky move, though, considering the skills that she could bring out there. But, I mean, we might not know if she's running 100% at the moment as well, and if they are keeping her for third and fourth, well, hopefully she has an impact.
Yeah, maybe trying to lull Collingwood into a false sense of security without her there, and then, spring her on them in the last half.
And just quickly before we hit our half-time break, we're of course talking about the dangerous Rosie Dillon, of course being formerly from Whitehorse. Lucy, tell me about actually the Dillon sisters.
Oh, yeah, so there's a crew of 4 of them. When I first started playing football, I played with Molly, Rosie, Matilda and Grace Dillon. Grace and Rosie both on the list at the Hawks. I think Molly has since retired from football, but Matilda is still playing for Old Trinity in the VFL. But when they all started playing, it was the 4 of them playing and their dad coaching as well. So they've very much kept it in the family.
And I think they played in a grand final, albeit a losing grand final, against Widdenvale in Division 3 about 4 years ago?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And they won. They just lost, I'm pretty sure, that grand final a few years ago. But it's good to see players like Rosie, who is an excellent read of the ball and excellent at the contest, excel today, here today. So hopefully she can continue her good run today.
We'll take this quick opportunity to take a break. At halftime, we've got the interview with Michaela Can, courtesy of Peter Williams at AFL Draft Central. It's Hawthorn 3-1-19, leading Collingwood 1-2-8. We'll be back right after this.
RSN smartphone app. See the listening guide at rsn.net.au.
It's Peter Williams here from AFL Draft Central. Earlier in the season, I spoke with Eastern Rangers Jet, now Hawthorn VFLW star Michaela Can, who crossed over from basketball and an athletics career to take up footy, and what a sensation she's been. Give it a listen.
How did you get into footy, and what motivated you to sort of start up?
So basically, I was playing basketball before I played footy.
Yeah.
And a lot of my mates started playing, so I think that was the biggest influence. And I really love the physical side of basketball, so coming to footy, it's all about the physicality. So I really love that part.
Yeah.
I think that's the main influences right there.
And you haven't been playing that long, have you? Is this sort of your first?
This is my first.
main season.
First real football experience. So the first tryout that Easton had was my first.
Yeah.
First real crack at footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been good though.
Yeah. So have you really enjoyed this first season?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been. I reckon I enjoy it more than basketball.
Yeah.
And I love Easton. There's such good people around, and yeah, I loved every minute of it. It's been good.
And did you play much at school at all, or?
I played a bit of school footy, but it was more just running around with mates. It wasn't really anything in terms of skills and that. I was just trying to play, kick a few snags and that, but not in terms of technical stuff that we do here.
Yeah. So, what was your biggest challenge coming to the club, not having known anything really?
I think it was just the knowledge that a lot of the other girls had, because they had that first year playing at Easton, and that was the difference for me, trying to learn all the structures and the positions and just really learning about the game. That was the biggest thing. I tried to really develop, and where the ball is and where to stand and all that. But they've done really well and taught me a lot, so I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
It's been good.
So this season, what do you sort of find as your strengths that you've brought?
I think my strengths and what they really try to get me to do and try to focus on is my in and under. So tackling and pressure, and then try to burst away from the contest too. So getting in and under, getting it out, and then getting away too.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. My physical side, I try to focus on the most.
Yeah. And your improvements, what have you been trying to improve on?
Obviously the knowledge of the game, that's the biggest one. Getting to those contests and knowing where the ball's going to be, where to stand, how to read the tap, Ruckman's tap. I think they're the biggest one. Also just skill level too.
Yeah.
Using my left side as much as I don't want to, but I have to, because as you get higher up, you're going to need to start. So just the skill level too.
And obviously looking ahead to sort of VFL and that, would you ever sort of, I guess, imagine you'd got to that point at the start of the season?
No, not really at all. I was just trying to get picked every week. I was really focusing on VFL and or higher up, and I think just focusing on each week has enabled me to really try and play the best each week and not really focus on it, because I like thinking in the now rather than future. Yeah. So that's really enabled me. But no, I've never really thought about it.
Yeah. So I guess from here, obviously you got the Vic Metro training coming up. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, it's going to be good. There's a lot of Eastern girls in the squad, so they'll be good, and Tommy's there too. So I feel it's going to be good, and I feel comfortable with the girls knowing, because I know a lot of girls there, and Tommy too. He's such a good coach, so it should be good.
And you're set the season as a whole. How have you sort of found it, both yourself and the team?
I thought that we played really well against some really top quality sides, and I think we developed and we learned we got better as we went on, which was the best thing that can really happen is your improvement. And individually, I feel like I played well when the team played well. So when the team's up and about, it gets you everyone up and about. So
yeah, no worries. And I guess your ultimate goal is play at the elite level, I guess.
Yeah, to get drafted. That's the end goal. I guess that's for everyone, but yeah, see how we go.
And how's your travelling commitments been? Is it not too bad around here?
No, it's not too bad. Fortunately enough, Mum loves coming to my game, so she'll always drive me. And I really like the driving to the games, the experience, and the I don't know, it's the excitement for a game, the pre-excitement, and I don't know, I love it. Yeah, so it's not too bad though.
Another massive week on the Breakfast Club. It's great to have your company. If you missed any of the good stuff, here's a snippet of what we did. The Pies are in the finals. They're off to Perth on Saturday night, and they'll need all their stars up and running. One of those is Jack Chris. Why did Collingwood travel so well?
I don't know, but I like it. Since I've been at Collingwood, I think we've always travelled pretty well. So I guess it's just maybe a confidence thing, a mental thing, and I'm not changing too much because we do travel so well.
Mo Putzels, the Geelong champ.
I'll be playing backline. Looking forward to that. That position suited me mostly this year. We felt the last couple of weeks myself, Hendo and Harry Taylor have all worked pretty well together. So looking forward to trying to be organising that backline and let the mids go to work.
Sean Grigg from the Tigers.
Having that evidence that our game style stacks up in finals. Last year, leading up to the finals, we thought it was going to, but we didn't know. And this this year, I suppose we've got that evidence and that confidence that if we play that way and we play the way and we know we can, then it stacks up.
Alistair Cook has called time on the most prolific batting career English Test cricket has ever seen. Nick Compton, former England Test opener, was part of the journey with him.
His balance and, as a person, it was the thing that I always marvelled at, especially at times when, technique didn't look great. When you batted with him in the net, you weren't going, wow, this guy's unbelievable. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but he was someone who fought hard and had his own way. I had to marvel at how he kept making it work.
I reckon there'll be plenty of energy in Taylor Adams because he's got a final on Saturday in the West.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I can't wait. The last 10 days have been really good off the back of our Freo game. Yeah, it's been really, really good build-up and looking forward to getting over to Perth.
Ron Millman, father of John, who took down Roger Federer.
We just sent messages and tell him we're proud and love him and that sort of thing. But we did ask him, what the hell have you done to us? Jeez, the phone hasn't stopped.
I haven't retired yet. I'm not thinking like that now because I'm not at another footy club and I'm not sure if I want to play for anyone else. So the club would kind of, steering me down that direction in terms of retirement. But I don't know what I want to do, so why would I say something I don't really mean? We'll have some time to think about things whilst we're away, but I really don't know what's next.
Big surprises was to see that Caitlin Thwaites had left the Collingwood Netball Club. What happened, Caitlin?
I'm not actually kind of 100% sure there. Wasn't re-offered, so that's found me in a position where I had to weigh up all my options and go into the free agency period, and it's been quite stressful.
The Breakfast Club, 6 till 8:30 weekdays on RSN 927. Thanks to the Tab. We love a bet.
Got a big game this weekend? Here's where to meet up. The Mail Exchange Hotel, just 5 minutes walk from Etihad. Ales, wine, superb food and Tab Terminals. The Mail Exchange Hotel where footy fans meet up. Corner of Bergen Spencer Street City, right opposite the steps at Southern Cross Station.
Every week, more than 20 Australian families will hear the words that will change their lives forever. Your child has cancer. For the long and uncertain journey ahead, Red Kite is there with very real help, like hospital and community-based support, vital financial assistance and educational services. Can you help Red Kite support these families through their cancer journey? Visit redkite.org.au or call 1800 334 771.
You can talk with Father Gerard Dowling.
Welcome to the Family Counsellor Program. It's great to be with you, wherever you are.
We all need a helping hand.
It's always great to come in here, spend these 2 hours with you as you listen.
And a friendly voice is just a phone call away.
Here Ian's on the line.
Hi, Gerard.
The Family Counsellor Program. We all need someone to talk to. Sunday nights from 10. On RSN 927.
Am I on the air?
Presented by Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Talking Horses with Joe McKinnon.
We're working our way towards the breeding season, talking about new sires and the old favourites as breeders look for the edge. Plus, our watch on the big results from the Northern Summer. And we'll keep an eye on the equestrian world.
Talking Horses, Sunday from 7 a.m. on RSN 927. Presented by Darley's 2018 Stallion roster. Now including 4-time Group 1 winner Ribchester. Bring your dream to life at darley.com.au.
This is the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
On RSN Carnival Digital Radio, the RSN Racing and Sport app, and rsn.net.au, as well as streaming across the World Wide Web at vfl.com.au. This is the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Major Semi-Final, where Hawthorn 3-1-19 lead Collingwood 1-2-8, and Nee Felton. The Hawks at the moment 2 quarters away from a grand final berth.
Yeah, the Hawks are looking really hot at the moment, and it is not just because the sun is out. I think they're playing a much more... I think both sides are being physically imposing, but they're able to turn that into good play as well. They're taking lots of strong marks. In the first half, we had Perkins' big tackle, Pepper Randall's golden fist, like things like that just are lifting the team. Whereas with Collingwood, there's been a few good things, like Chloe Malloy's goal was outstanding, but there's nothing that's really kind of galvanised the group and got them to kind of like push through to hit the scoreboard. So it'll be interesting to see if Collingwood come out a bit cranky about that, or if Hawthorn just continue on their merry way.
Sash Doherty, what do the Pies need to do from here? Who needs to stand up if they're to turn the tide?
Yeah, good question. I think at the moment the Pies really need to look at their defence, their strength, speed, and they also need to lock it in a bit more. They seem to be a bit rushed and scrappy when they do get it past into the midfield. players that need to step up. I mean, Hildebrand started to do that at the end of the second quarter, if she keeps that up. I haven't heard much from Darcy. We were looking into, she's normally a really good influence on the game, but it's been a bit quiet. And the other one that I was a bit surprised we haven't heard much about, where is the name? Lambert had a good start in the first quarter, but again, sort of went a bit quiet. So hopefully they had a bit of a break and they had a chat and regrouped.
To get us underway for the third term here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio and VFL.com.au, here is your lead caller, the producer of the Outer Sanctum. It is Lizzie Watkin.
Thank you very much, Pete. I love an introduction. Second half underway here at Northport Oval. The tap down went the way of Brittany Benici, but she was wrapped up by Crockett Grills. She got it away to Grant, but Grant was dispossessed. The ball found its way to Fowler, who has it high up and under, but it only goes as far as Van Dyke for Hawthorn. She plays quickly towards the wing, and she finds Rebecca Beeson on the grandstand side of the ground. She goes back. She looks at her options. She wheels. She pops it on the right, and she finds Phoebe McWilliam at left half forward. Phoebe, she goes quickly as well and puts it straight into 50. Perkins was running through, but it was Lambert who took the intercept mark deep in defence for Collingwood.
Lambert goes on the right boot, long and high. McWilliams is going to be the meat in the sandwich here. Goes for the spoil at the last moment and knock it away from Hales. Ball falls into space. Malloy tried to get her hands on the football. McWilliams slapped it backwards. Nesta put her head over the pill. In goes Edwards. Wrapping it up there, Slicer. Umpire is going to say hatching it. And has pinned the player on the bottom of the deck, being Wantani Nesta. And it will be a free kick going the way of Ruby Slicer. Slicer on the right boot. Oh, it's a wonky kick. Was trying to find Edwards, and it was beautifully picked off by PMAC. Phoebe McWilliams, a veteran with the St Kilda Sharks. Plays the GWS Giants, and now will play with Geelong in AFLW 2019. Edwards now takes the football for the Pies. They got run down by Mackie, got a kick away, went into open space. Illis Ross chasing after the football. Dana Haynes is there first, got mown down, got rid of the football in the nick of time. Ebb tries to keep it alive, slaps it close towards the boundary line. Circling is Benici if they can squeeze the ball out to her. Tackle being laid on by Claire O'Donnell, and will call for a ball up as another Hawks player goes down, feeling a bit sore. Geez, she waves the trainer away, but Sasha Doherty, there's been a bit of a body count today.
Yeah, it seems to be all on the Hawks side as well. A bit of roadkill, bit of bird roadkill, and it's not the Pies. So, yeah, it looks like it's a bit rough out there, but I think maybe that's what the Pies are trying to give a bit more aggression to turn the ball over.
What does presence count for if it's not on the scoreboard, though?
That's exactly right. And as we were sort of hypothesising, McWilliams is back on and has made a pretty good impact straight away.
Well, she tried to wave the trainers away, and the trainer said, no, you're playing hopscotch at the moment. And I think that's Dicey Haynes that's coming off with a...
Yeah, number 11, Haynes.
With a bit of a skip.
So she's making her way to the bench as play restarts. It's picked up by Nesta, who got the ball away. Oh, she was pushed in the back by Sarah Darcy. So she'll take the free kick on the 50 at half back for Hawthorn. Schleicher, she tried to fly and she's given away the push in the back on Tamara Luke.
You know why Diana Haynes tried to shoot the trainer's way? She's like, this isn't pain. I pushed out a kid a year ago. This is nothing.
High pain threshold there. The pack forms. No one can take it, but it's bodies everywhere. Phoebe Williams' handball's a bit too hot for Crockett Grills. Still, she tries the kick around the body, but Schleicher, she gets the smother in and it will go over the boundary for a ball up. And the grandstand side of the ground, it's right in front of the Collingwood interchange. Just a smidgen closer to Hawthorn's goal. Ball back in play. Watton won the tap down. Mackie, little handball. Back out to Michaela Cann. Her kick couldn't be marked by Crockett Grills, but she pops it on the outside of the boot, and it's marked. Taken by Tamara Luke. She's been strong across half forward for Hawthorn today. Nee Felton.
Yeah, such a good mark. She just got right in front of her opponent in McLaren, and McLaren, I don't know if she was just tired, but looked like she made no effort to kind of try and quell Luke's mark.
Luke, the kick, it's bending back, but it won't make the distance. And a great mark taken in front by Sarah Darcy of Collingwood.
Sarah Darcy with the pill, was looking to go city side, glances to grandstand side, And then Lex to just go down the middle. And goes short and manages to find Sophie Casey. Sophie Casey, dangerously close to the boundary line. Now, that's interesting. It's called out in the full. I thought it might have just bounced before the line, but the boundary umpire right there on the spot. It will be a free kick going the way of the Hawks. Let's see who the umpire calls across as to having to take the kick.
They're not even sure who the closest to the ball was.
Well, they reckon it's Steph Carroll, according to the umpire. So Steph Carroll, and a very tight angle, tells the Hawks camera people, excuse me, out of my way. I'm having a shot here. I know I'd like to look good, but please. Goes and runs around, kicks it towards the top of the goal. Williams couldn't quite bring the football down. And the ball hits the bottom of the deck, and instantly half a dozen players jump on top of it, including Nicole Hales will call for a ball up. Match analyst Sasha Doherty.
Wow, that is a big flyer taken there, but unfortunately didn't come off. And again, the pressure's really high around this inside 50.
And Emma Grant's given away a free kick and getting some attention from some Hawk players, including Steph Carroll at the same time. And Emma Mackey is going to be having a shot on goal from directly in front, Neve Felton.
Yeah, her second goal. So really impressive for Emma Mackey. I think she's playing a really good captain's game, keeping everybody involved. She laid a really good shepherd before, so I think...
Well, Neve Felton called it, and never in doubt.
Nice. Just poked the kick too.
Yeah, nice, easy
I think
kick.
Emma Grant maybe bent down and said, "Come on, Mackie, being a bit soft here."
Yeah, well, Grant just got told, unfortunately, on the scoreboard.
Yep,
so.
last laugh to Emma Mackey there.
4-1-25 the Hawks. Collingwood 1-2-8. 6 minutes gone in the second term. Match analyst Sasha Doherty.
I think Hawks have set up a press or they've worked some type of defence out in their attacking line because it's really paying off. The pressure they've applied to the last sort of 3 minutes has really paid off, obviously, with the goal, but just in general, getting their heads up.
Grant, she got the ball for Collingwood and it worked its way to Sophie Alexander, who popped it inside 50, but only far as Ebb, whose bounce was a little bit errant, but she managed to keep control and they got the clear and kick away, the Hawks. It bounced through the hands of Grubb, and the Hawks will clear it towards the boundary. The kick found its way to the outer wing. The player in Randall, maybe. Can't see that far, unfortunately. But her kick, anyway, was chopped off by a Collingwood player who's being held up on the boundary line by Hawthorn. So on the outer wing, City side, the ball long again towards the forward 50 through the hands of Marsh, and we'll have a boundary throw-in just outside the 50 of Collingwood's attacking end.
For 125 to 128, the Hawks leading the Pies by 17 points. 7 minutes gone in the third quarter on RSN Carnival and the VFL.com.au stream as the ball is thrown back into play. Hines versus Watton. Hines won it down, and Ebb is immediately wrapped up. We'll call for a ball up. Little shout out, by the way, listening online at the moment. Paul Hooper from 3WBC Community Radio, 94.1 FM. They're doing the VFL men's game tomorrow between the Cats and the Box Hill Hawks here at Northport Oval. You can listen in to them tomorrow for the call of that game as Rosie Dillon takes it now for Hawthorn. Kicks up the line. Was looking in the direction of Kendall. Came off her shins. O'Donnell. Hand pass. Working sideways. Crockett Grills kicked around the corner. Over the head of Beeson. Lambert intercepts for the Pies. Off one bounce. Kicks it long up the line. Whoa! Juggling act. How do you like that? The president, Ebony Nixon. Now goes for the kick. Long and wide. Spots up the intended target. And that is Crockett Grills coming back inboard. Nixon takes the mark again. Just looking for some options. They're being patient with the ball, the Hawks, as they lead by 17 points. Kicks it towards the half-forward flank position. Hales with a punch from behind. Going in there and weaving through traffic is Whitford. Comes inboard. Spotting up the intended player in Buchan. How do you get to Buchan on the Buchan bus? Now kicks it inboard. In towards the centre of the ground. Marsh put it to the advantage of Alexander. Took it one-handed. Alexander to Benici on the half-forward flank. Got a little nudge at the crucial moment. Pepper Randall comes away with the kick. Went over the head there on that occasion of her teammate and Can. Close towards the boundary line. Being seen over Grace Buchan. And we'll call for a ball in on centre wing. Match analyst Neve Felton.
Yeah, I think it's Benici. Yeah, is that... Oh, she's wearing helmet, of course, Benici. Getting a little bit of attention from Pepper Randall and not
happy about it. But personally, I wouldn't try to fight Randall. She's a skater, and I just feel like she knows the streets.
She knows the streets.
Hawthorn win the clearance away through Hutchins and Crockett Grills, looking for Perkins. It ends up in her lap. She gets the right dribble kick into the 50. McWilliams, she's chasing after it. And gives the Collingwood player a fair bump over the line while Lambert comes in to back up her teammate. So we'll have a throw in just inside the forward 50 for the Hawks. They've had all of the ascendancy this quarter so far. Hawthorn, Perkins, she's in the ruck this time and she wins the tap. Beeson couldn't get clean hands. Crockett Grills tried to get out of it, but it was Hildebrand and she was pulled off the ball without it by Phoebe McWilliams. So she'll take the free kick for Collingwood.
Hildebrand on the left, piercing up the line with a kick, and it was beautifully weighted. Hit the chest of Illish Ross, and Ross elects to play on. Goes for the chip kick on the left boot, hitting up Shayla Marsh. Marsh with a footy in front of Pereira. Just near centre wing, broadcast side. Through the hands there. Beeson got out the back door by Bateman. Hurried hand pass, didn't find Fowler. And easy for the Hawks to come away with Emerson Woods, their 23rd player. Now looking to put it at the agency of Kendall, who takes the mark in front of Malloy, who's had a pretty quiet second and third term. Gave the hand pass off. Long kick, trying to find Michaelia Can. Great grab.
Great grab.
Strong grab against Sophie Casey. Michaelia Can. You heard her interview at halftime, courtesy of the crew at AFL Draft Central. Now kicks it in the McWilliams direction, takes a mark. Phoebe McWilliams, the unofficial twin of Astra O'Connor, has the footy, 55 metres out from goal, heading in the Perkins direction, just over her head, just misjudged it. She was waiting out the back for it. Luke there, went over top the football, asked if it was in the back, going with her is Stratton. Again, Perkins throwing the hands in the air, asking for a decision to be made. And a little bit of feeling in that. The umpire from off the ball's come running in. Perkins has seen someone off the ball, give him a bit of a shove. And who says there's no feeling in this game?
There's a lot of passion out there at the moment.
It was Lambert who got the attention, but the tap down found its way to Stratton, who cleared the kick. And Buchan couldn't take the strong mark. Landed on her back, and Tamara Luke, she's trying to get her hands to it, and someone's come through and just flattened Tiny Nesta. Marsh ended up with it. Van Dyke tried to tackle her, but she got the ball away. The ball again in pursuit. She fell over when the handball came her way, and she's piled in on top of by Marsh. And there is just tension.
Getting rough out there. It's everyone wants this opportunity to go straight into the grand final.
Tension in this third quarter as Hines wins down the tap. Beeson's clearing kick only as far as Buchan. Her kick was smothered. Benici, she couldn't get clean hands to it, and she's barreled into the ground by Nesta. Ball comes clear. Stratton almost had a jumper pulled over her head. And Darcy was tripped. So the ball will get out of this congestion for a free kick by Sarah Darcy. She'll send it long up the line off her left, dangerously close to the boundary, and it will go over for a throw-in. We're on the grandstand side of the wing, almost at half forward for Collingwood.
4-1-25, the Hawks 1-2-8, the Pies. 13 minutes gone in the third term here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio. Your home is Swiss Wellness, VFL Women's Football. Fowler at the back, got it, then got on the left boot, got the kick away before being tackled by Mackie. Stratton's there waiting for it if they can feed the ball to her. She receives it from Grubb, immediately caught on that occasion though by Nixon. Got rid of her hand pass though, through the hands there of Darcy, who couldn't hang on to it. I think the Tame's back on the ground, receives there for the Hawks. So Phoebe McWilliams.
Cops a knee in the head there as well.
I think she'll need a Panadol after that one. And Phoebe McWilliams copying the attention from Caitlin Lee. Felt the knee of Lee as she gets up. Make sure she's got her bearings right. Now unloads on the right boot. McWilliams over the head of Luke, over the head of Carroll. Perkins had it, then dropped it and fed it out with a hand pass to Can. Can got mown down, lost the football. Perkins got mown down and she got a kick away. Umpire spotted something off the ball. What's happened here? Is it dropping the ball? Is he going to adjudicate it as? It was a late whistle, and indeed he has. He's given it to Sophie Casey of the Pies.
So Casey, she looks to switch the play and does. She finds Lambert. Lambert pops it on her right boot, looking for Paige Nash, but it was over her head. O'Donnell, she grabbed it but was mown down by Nash. The ball is spilled out the back. Woods She couldn't get a clean possession, but Watton comes and cleans up. She was wrapped up. Players converge. Lambert, she gets the clean handball, looking for Alexander, but she couldn't get a clean possession. It's back with the Hawks. The hurried around the body kick. Couldn't find anyone. And we're going to have a boundary throw-in just at half forward for the Hawks on the City side of the ground. Special comments, Neve Felton.
Yeah, twice Perkins has been in the perfect spot, I think, to take a mark and just hasn't been able to. And then after she spilt it, could have laid on a Shepherd. And it's just these little things that I think if they can do that, the Hawks, they'll be able to put Collingwood away, no worries.
Watton got the tap down. The pickup wasn't clean, but it's found its way to a Collingwood player who clears, but the mark's taken by Nixon in the centre of the ground. She looks to centre it further, and the mark won't be paid. Wrapped up by Caitlin Lee, and we'll have a stoppage in the centre of the ground.
Here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio, the RSN Racing and Sport app, and rsn.net.au. Well, lead callers Peter Holden and Lucy Watkin alongside Neve Felton and Sasha Doherty, trying to get a hurry kick away there. Randall moved it forward. Beeson spun out of trouble. Grant's coming. Tries to catch her opponent, couldn't do so. Then Hutchins unloads on the right towards centre half forward. Awkward bouncing football, clean through traffic. Hand pass over the top, looking for Lambert, missed her. But ricocheted, Edwards, and now put on the right boot. Long towards the half-forward flank position. Marsh creates the pressure, does well. Ilish Ross put it on the left boot. It's a high kick, almost searching for rain. Mark taken 50 metres out from goal. Daisy Bateman with the footy. Bateman, hesitant, now goes on the right to pass. Oh, just a bit too much juice on the kick. Went out the back door. Ebb got a hurry kick away while under pressure. Finding Pepper Randall, who takes the mark at the half-back flank near the Mr. Whippy van.
Randall goes short to Emerson Wood, who is just everywhere on the ground at the moment. But just at half forward, she's not getting herself to the contest, Emerson Wood. She's not taking a fly for the marks. I feel like it's a bit of inexperience from the under-18 All-Australian. So boundary throw in now, grandstand side of the wing. Watton won the tap, roved her own work, but her kick wasn't great for the clearance. Woods put her head over the ball but couldn't get it. Ends up in the hands of Lambert, who handballs it to herself. She runs, she gets the handball off to Edwards. Edwards pops it on the right, looks to centre. But Ebony Nixon's second drop mark in the space of 2 minutes. She plays the tackle and the wayward kick goes to Ebb, who's off again. She takes one bounce down the city side wing. She takes two. She's still going. She pops it on the right. The kick just drops short.
Yeah,
and Hildebrand.
Not dissimilar to the last time she had a run. It was so good, but I feel like she pulls that kick just a little bit too much.
Hildebrand, oh, that's a bit of a shank of a kick, trying to find Lambert. He's going to be under pressure from Watton. Oh, and Watton cleaned up Lambert afterwards. That'll be downfield. And the umpire's, it's Luke that did it. And she is now having a jumper pulled by Jamie Lambert. They're having a conversation. Do you like conferences or not? As the kick is long and up the line.
Yeah, I think the answer's no.
And they both agree. That's the problem. As the ball goes over the boundary line.
I'm just so angry about it.
Yes. As we wait for the kick to come back into play. Beeson unloads. Luke brings it to ground. Ooh. Malloy, always having her back bent there in that tackle. I hope she's done yoga because she was being bent in all kinds of directions.
I was going to say Malloy's been a bit quiet and then all of a sudden back on, and we need some Malloy magic for the Pies.
That we do. It's the hashtag in that one.
Malloy magic.
It's trending. I'll get that trending.
Throw the ball back into play. Watton, front posse, through the hands of Mackie. Dillon, Malloy, over on the ball. Grant, Crockett Grills on her. Alexander, pulled down by Mackie. Nesta involved. Going in there as Grubb, lays the tackle. Rolls over her opponent, and the umpire calls a ball. And Lou Watton now having a friendly conversation with Chloe Malloy, exchanging insurance details, saying, do you like the larger goal square or not? And we'll have another ball up. 17 points the difference.
I think the Pies are getting lost a bit in this off-ball chat.
And the one thing as well you've got to think for the Hawks is they've got to keep their discipline, because if you're going to win this game, you don't want to get rubbed out. Otherwise, you miss the grand final.
That is true. Hines sent the kick long down the line, but the pack mark couldn't be taken. The ball's on the deck, and now it's Pepper Randall and Brittany Benici. Malloy again. with a little bit of push and shove off the ball. So there's plenty happening. Just doesn't seem to be when the ball's in the hands. So Hines, she wins a tap down. Dillon, she couldn't get it, but Watton, she does PMAC, which is Phoebe Williams. Back to Crockett Gills. Her banana hit the deck and was bouncing, and it was cut off by Caitlin Lee, who was wrapped up immediately in a strong tackle by Luke. So only 20 seconds to go in this third quarter, with Hawthorn leading 4-1-25 to Collingwood 1-2-8. From the tap down, clean possession wasn't taken, so there'll be a secondary stoppage. And I feel like that might just be it for this third quarter in this qualifying final here at Northport Oval. And there is the siren. Emma Mackey with Hawthorn's only goal of that quarter, but her second. Other goal kickers for Hawthorn were Rosie Dillon and Sarah Perkins, with the one goal of the game so far for Collingwood to Chloe Malloy. So again, it's Hawthorn 4-1-25 leading Collingwood 1-2-8 at the end of this third quarter here at Northport Oval. Neve Felton and Sasha Doherty, thoughts so far?
Yeah, I think Hawthorn have just had more players who have stood up. There's still a lot of players, I think, for Collingwood who are doing well. Hildebrand, she had a bit of a shank kick over there before, but she's still doing all right. Benici, as always, is right in it. Malloy sort of getting in it towards the end of that quarter, but a lot more of just, like you're saying, like the push and shove, the off-the-ball stuff, rather than the actual play. Whereas if I look at the Hawthorn, I think Emma Mackey's playing a really good game. Phoebe McWilliams, I think, took like 4 marks that quarter, like 2 in the first minute or so, it felt like. Sarah Perkins has had her moments. Like people, I just feel like there's been a few more Rebecca Beeson players for Hawthorn that have kind of stood up and made an impact. Whereas Collingwood kind of feel like they're getting the ball, but they're not really doing anything particularly meaningful with it.
When I think of this Collingwood side, and all the times I've watched them play this season, they've been so controlled, and every player has played their role. But it seems today they're not playing their usual game style.
No, I feel I feel like they need to have the song all fired up playing at the moment, but it looks like the Hawks have gotten under their skin quite a lot, and that's showing in the off-the-ball sort of biffo between them. But it's also having a real effect on how they're moving the ball down the ground, and Hawks are doing a lot of switching. They're thinking about the play. They're making it clean.
Yep.
Whereas the Pies are sort of, they're scrappy at the moment. They do kick down the line, but there's no one there. Just little things that could have a huge impact if they actually did get that accuracy up.
That is true.
If they go down today, they've got then 6 to 7 days to get out of this mindset to reset against an NT Thunder side that could be loaded with Crows talent, or a Geelong side that might be at full strength as they try to get a flag and get some morale going heading into AFLW. So
and I thought having the Pies play the Hawks, maybe they would have thought that they were in for a pretty good chance of going straight into the grand final, but the Hawks are challenging them pretty well today, and to have to then come back and play either of the Cats or the Thunder, I mean, that's going to be more difficult, I think, than this current match.
Neve, if we go back to my point in the pre-game, Hawthorn off 2 strong wins in the last 2 rounds and then a bye, and Collingwood playing 2 weaker sides and then going into a bye. Do you think it's had an effect on mindset, being ready for a tough pressure game?
Yeah, I think so. I think, like you were saying, comparing it to the game last night where Melbourne had 2 strong wins, I guess you can see the kind of pattern between that game and this game, because you're used to the pressure, you're used to having to work hard. Whereas I know that you're saying we treat every opposition the same. At the end of the day, if it is a weaker side, it's not going to be as difficult, and you're not going to want to feel like you have to bust a gut to try and beat them, particularly coming up to finals, because you don't want to get injured or like we're seeing in this game, potentially get rubbed out. And so I think it's better practice. It's more incremental, and you're used to being at that intensity. Whereas if you're like, we know we can play this, we treat all our opposition with respect, and we play our best. It just doesn't, if they can't throw as much at you as a better side can, and that's why I think Hawthorn are doing a really good job of withstanding the Collingwood pressure, because they've been, acclimatised to having this kind of pressure thrown at them.
We'll take this opportunity to take a quick break. You're listening to RSN Carnival VFL Women's Football.
You're listening to Carnival on digital radio, live streaming around the world and on the RSN smartphone app. See the listening guide at rsn.net.au.
It's Peter Williams here from AFL Draft Central. Earlier in the year I spoke with Gippsland Power defender, now Casey Demons defender, Emily Horsler, and she has such a fantastic story to tell, a bit of a different background, a bit of different interests. I really recommend you give it a listen.
And obviously working as well, you're a bit different to other girls around?
Yeah, there's not many girls that are out of school. Like, we've got those few that are 19-year-olds and they're in uni, but like, I'm a first-year apprentice, which is very different. It's hard because I can get quite tired and sometimes I'll work back and then still go to footy. And the girls in like the club have been very understanding of that though, so it's good.
And what got you into that line of work? It's an electrician?
Yeah, apprentice, yeah. So I'm an industrial electrician and I always wanted to do things with my hands, but I still loved like physics and the maths-based side of everything like that. So electrician was sort of the way to go because it still like engaged my brain a lot of the time, but it was a practical job.
RSN 927 rolls out more Victorian Trots news and more Victorian Greyhound news in our new 10 a.m. reports. 10 a.m. Tuesday, the week's Victorian Greyhound news in Off the Leash. Wednesday, the statewide Trots update, 1 out, 1 back. And Thursday, the ID18 update as Victoria welcomes back the Inter-Dominion. More Trots, more doggies, part of RSN 927's new 10 a.m. reports. Catch them live or later on podcast.
This is the VFL Women's Match of the Day.
Here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio and VFL.com.au. This is the Swiss Wanderers VFL Women's Major Semi-Final. Peter Holden, Lucy Watkin, Neve Felton and Sasha Doherty with you. We get the final quarter underway. 17-point lead to the Hawks over the Pies. Benici got ripped off the ball as she tried to get her kick away. Alexander head over the football, trying to knock it forward. Hutchins is lurking around the pack. Pies got a clearing kick though, and that was through the courtesy of Hales trying to find Grubb. Grubb got ripped off the football and the umpires come in and says that's throwing the ball, and it will be a Hawks free kick. And it's going the way of Meg Hutchins, the veteran Hutchins. Played with Collingwood in the AFLW for the first 2 seasons of that league. Kicks up the line, looking for Lambert, off her hands. Buckham was there, but taken by Rosie Dillon, whose kick intercepted by Sarah Darcy, who dropped it, had to get it back again. Mackie on her hammer, hand pass over the top, finding Hildebrand, who got knocked off the footy, but managed to get her kick away, only as far as Beck Beeson. Beeson, of course, on the GSW Giants list in the AFLW. Originally out of the Sydney AFL women's competition. Long up the line. Luke brought it to ground. McWilliams' kick was a grubber. Taken by Hines. Hines to Benici. Benici marks in front of Hutchins. Benici on the city side wing here at Stannard Stadium, otherwise known as North Port Oval. Gets on the right boot, looking in the Malloy direction. Had Dillon in front though, took it up. Dillon lost her foot at the wrong moment, went to ground. Hutchins, her hand pass, ripped off by Grubb, caught one high on the way through. Umpire didn't see it. Slicer, hand pass to Benici. Benici goes for a run. Brittany Benici putting in the direction of Fowler. Pereira had front posse, knocked it to ground, got the football back again, immediately wrapped up by Fowler. And we'll call for a ball up 48 metres out from the Pies goal. Match analyst Sasha Doherty.
Thank you. Yeah, look, Fowler needs to step up now. Forward line needs to get it. Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh, here's an opportunity for the Pies from 25 metres out. I think she squeezed it in. She has.
It wasn't Fowler, but it certainly answered my commentary.
Yes, and the question being asked there by Sophie Alexander, who got that one for the Magpies. It was a quick throw up. She got on with it, and the Pies needed that one. 2-2-14. The Hawks 4-1-25. Geez, Lucy Watton, I think Pies fans will be happy if you keep going to the toilet more often. They just scored a goal in the meantime.
And they're lucky charm now, Collingwood supporters, but unfortunately, I think I'll be in the grandstand for the rest of the game. But the restart, one down by Collingwood. Darcy, she's back in the middle for Collingwood. She gets the clearance, head out towards Grubb. She was tackled, but she got the kick away just in time. Finds its way to Bateman, but only as far as Hutchins. She tried to appeal for holding the man, but she gets the handball away to Randall, who clears it down out of the 50, but only as far as Sarah Darcy,
And Darcy with the football, kicks it long and high in the Fowler direction, punched away by Pepper Randall. Fowler win again, knocked away from her. Hines with a footy, goes to the hand pass back. Benici, one step, then kicked it. Sky high kick, Marsh trying to juggle the football. Got it back again, couldn't get a hurry kick away. On a hammer is Kim Evers fighting hard for the ball. Grub again, in goes Daisy Bateman as well. Bateman trying to keep the ball alive for the Pies. In goes Fowler, and the umpire says, let's call for a ball up. We're 35 metres out from Collingwood's goal. They trail by 11 points. 3 minutes gone in the final term.
Watton won the tap down and, well, she tapped it and won the tap down, but her clearance was off the side of the boot and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
A few Pies supporters asking for deliberate.
Yep, as always. So we'll have a boundary throw-in just inside the forward 50. Grandstand side of the ground. Luke just taps it towards the ground, but it was Marsh who picked it up. Luke won it again to Dylan, who gets it away to Michaela Can. She pops it up on the boot, high up and under. Oh, I was about to say the safe hands of Darcy, but she didn't take the mark. Perkins just turn around, the kick across the body will go to Grills, but she's got 3 Collingwood players on her hammer, and she's just barreled over the boundary line. Nee Felton, match analyst.
I think Collingwood are using their numbers really well. Getting more players to the contest at the moment. They've had 2 inside 50s, one of them which they're able to convert, so they're looking pretty good so far, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when Hawthorn puts the pressure on.
Hines did the ruck work, taken immediately there by Beeson, who had to duck the tackle, then kick around to get to half-forward flank. Several players overran the ball, but McWilliams ended up picking it up and then kicked it long into space. Oh, diving forward then, couldn't hang on to it, was Hales. And now the Hawks have an opportunity to try and square it up. Sophie Casey chasing after the football. It's an awkward bouncing ball, 45 metres out from goal. They will clear through Whitford. Now McWilliams will intercept. The St Kilda Sharks veteran, now with the Hawks and the VFLW, her kick. Commentators curse, you praise someone and then a shank kick over the boundary line and out of bounds. Match analyst from the Brunswick Renegades, Sasha Doherty.
Yeah, not sure why McWilliams did that. I think maybe just a bit of a brain part, maybe. But yeah, look, hopefully they'll be able to get it back. Another throw-in.
Throw-in. Watton was pushed out of it by Hines, so we'll get the free kick right on the edge of the 50. Don't think she's going to go for the shot here. She's looking for options, so she just pops it up long towards the hot spot. Perkins is there, but she's surrounded by 4 Collingwood players. She couldn't take the mark. Clearing kick by Grant was smothered by Dylan. Into the hands of Mackie. She snaps! She goes! That's number 3 for Emma Mackie. Captain is leading from the front for Hawthorn. She's got 3 goals of the Hawks, 5. And they have just extended their lead further. They lead 5-1-31 to Collingwood, 2-2-14. Great. Lee Felton and Sasha Doherty.
Great snap by Emma. I mean, what can you say? Just got around the body of that Pie player and just put it on the boot and went straight through. I mean, accuracy wonderful. Captain's goal, definitely.
Umpire throws the ball in the air. Hines wins out versus Watton in the contest. Mackie, the ball's punched away by her from Grant. Grant now got it forward, but only as far as the player running away with the pill there, and Van Dyke, who got mown down, and the Pies will have the chance to try and send it back once again. Sarah Darcy now gets onto it. Her kick is sideways, though, coming out towards the wing on the grandstand side. Jess Edwards, the Pies captain, gets it and is immediately caught by Kim Ebb. Managed to get it away to Marsh. Marsh got out of trouble. Gave it across to Bateman. He gets caught cold. That's Hannah McLaren, rather. McLaren is gone. Julia Crocker-Grills, who'll play for Geelong in the AFLW next year, laying that tackle. Goes short to Tamara Luke. Cool hand Luke. Gets on the right boot. Goes long towards the half-forward flank position. Fantastic mark taken by Phoebe McWilliams. P-Mac with the footy. She's 65 metres out from home. Heading for Perkins. It's knocked away from her.
Beautifully weighted kick.
And Nicole Hales at the last moment getting in there to spoil it. And we'll go over the boundary line and out of bounds on the Williamstown Road into the ground. Just a quick plug, 11:45 tomorrow, the VFL.com.au stream. We'll be calling it NT Thunder versus Geelong in the minor semi-final.
So boundary throw-in inside the forward 50 for Hawthorn. Phoebe McWilliams up in the ruck. What can't she do at the moment? It's picked up by Michaela McCann. Her kick couldn't go very far. Back to McWilliams. Across the body, looking for Perkins, but it's rushed through as a behind by Nicole Hales of Collingwood.
Meg Williams is going to answer you with maybe I'll have a shot at goal.
Yeah. If you did that, I'd be like, come on. Save something for the rest of your teammates. So kick in. Goes long, up towards the city side, but running at it, and a great mark. Taken by Hawthorn. Just chopped off by Pereira. She'll go long inside 50. Perkins. She rose, but she couldn't take the mark. A snap by Crockett Grills was smothered. Stratton, she balked, then got the kick away to Alexander, who got the hands looking for Malloy, but it was just too far. Both Nesta and McRandall went to shepherd Chloe Malloy, so neither ended up with the football, but it finds its way to Carroll, who gets it out to Watton, who's tackled by Malloy, but got her kick away in time. Emerson Woods wasn't quick enough to get on the end of it, so we'll have a boundary throw-in on the broadcast side of the ground.
Here on RSN Carnival Digital Radio, the RSN Racing and Sport app and rsn.net.au. Also streaming via vfl.com.au this morning as the ball is thrown back into play. Watton did the rucking. McWilliams just slammed it on the boots. A couple of bounces over the boundary line and out of bounds. Match analyst from Melbourne University, Nee Felton.
Yeah, I think, I've talked about it all game. It's just up and down the wing, which is it's difficult because I feel like we're having a lot of stoppages and out of bounds because the players, I don't know, they're just pushing it straight out there and not giving themselves as much opportunity as they could.
Laying in a tackle there, Edwards. Hurry kick away there was by Stratton for the Pies, only to be intercepted by Steph Carroll. He's told to stay wide by Lou Watton, and it's smart because when it goes out of bounds and there's no time on, it kills the clock for the Hawks, and when you've got an 18-point lead, you might as well use that to your advantage. But by staying wide, I didn't mean trying to hit the James Bogue beer van, and the ball has gone out of bounds on the full. That will be a free kick to the Pies, and it'll be Emma Grant to bring the ball back into play.
She goes short and finds Sarah Darcy, who's lifted her work rate this second half. She's been big for the Pies. She's looking to go short again, but her only option will be to go long up the line. So she launches it. Schleicher, she flew but couldn't get it. Stratton, she just bursts through the pack. Short ball looking for Whitford. And Ebony Nixon, she wanted to trap the ball, stuck her foot out, and accidentally kicked it out of bounds on the full. Closest Collingwood player to it is Holly Whitford. She looks inboard and finds Emma Grant. I think she milked that a little bit to try and get the 50-metre penalty. About 45 metres out, a little bit of an angle. She's not going to back herself. She's going to go short. And she finds Ruby.
Hillary Grubb, I think.
Hillary Grubb.
Oh, I thought you were calling her a grub for a second.
It's not a judgment on her character, it's her surname.
So Grubb, the kick must have just gone 15 metres because she's only about 35 out from goal. Slight angle on the left. She's going to back herself. Tamara Luke of Hawthorn is there on the goal line. She sends the kick. It's not going to make the distance. But, Hines almost took the juggling mark for Collingwood on the line, but it's gone through as a behind for Collingwood.
Handy behind if they kick 3 goals in a row.
True.
2-3-15 to 5-2-32. Hawks lead the Pies. Pepper Randall kicked to herself, then played on, then elected to go to the scoreboard side of the ground. Wasn't the smartest option. Picked out, I think, Bateman out there, who now comes back in board. Hines taking it easy, though. Michaelia can. She can. And then she goes towards the back pocket. Awkward bouncing ball for Nesta. Nesta got bowled over, but got the kick away. Finds Tamara Cool Hand Luke. Luke with the footy off the half-back flank on the right boot, heading in the Perkins direction. Went over her head and that of Nicole Hildebrand. Perkins chasing after the ball. Her teammate and Julia Crockett-Grills gets there first. Hand pass back in board to Emerson Wood, who's immediately bear-hugged by 2 Collingwood players, one of them being Shayla Marsh, the other Sophie Casey. Will call for a ball up. Match analyst from the world-famous Brunswick Renegades, Sasa Joady.
It's like just sandwich central when you look at it. It's always 2 players and one just stuck in between. Doesn't matter what team at the moment, the pressure's on for both.
Grant gets a hurried hand pass to Brittany Benici. Benici on the outside of the right boot, heading in the direction of Chloe Malloy.
Malloy magic.
He takes the mark, who plays on quickly. Malloy muffed it, but then got it back. Malloy runs inside 50, blazes for 48! Hey!
There you go, hashtag Malloy Magic.
Malloy Magic.
She's done it again. Chloe Malloy, just when the Pies need a goal, she gets her second.
Just when you thought she'd messed it up as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that is not like her. And then she just does it herself.
It's no Watto Watch hashtag, but it's pretty damn good. Malloy Magic hashtag. Collingwood 3-3-21. They trail by 11 points. Hawthorn 5-2-32. 7 minutes left. Nee Felton. Can the Pies kick 2 goals and pinch it?
I mean, they can. I think they have the ability to.
So the clearance goes the way of Hawthorn. Phoebe McWilliams couldn't take the mark. It's kicked out, cleared by Darcy, who goes along, but only as far as the veteran Meg Hudgens for Hawthorn. She looks to go long and does. Pops it inside, looking for McWilliams again. She couldn't take the mark. Mackie lurking out the back. Could she kick 4? She gets the hand pass out to Emerson Woods, who's run down, but the umpire will let it go and will have a throw up.
With that Chloe Malloy mark just before as well, I think it was going to be a free kick anyway because she was held on to, but still able to take the mark.
She's pretty magnificent Malloy. Malloy Magic. Magnificent Malloy.
So many options.
You could just go on, really. So I have a secondary stoppage in the forward pocket of Hawthorn's forward 50. Mackie grabbed it, but was wrapped up immediately.
Of course, her nickname's Mickey. True story.
Malloy.
Mickey Malloy, as in the...
That's a good one. I like that.
Mickey
so the
Magic.
third stoppage here inside 50 for Hawthorn. It's tapped away towards the boundary, and it's Stratton who clears it. Nesta engaged in a tussle, but the Hawthorn player wrapped up by Jamie Lambert. So we'll have another ball up on the grandstand side of the ground, just outside 50. 15 minutes gone in this fourth quarter, sorry.
As the ball is thrown up in the air, Brittany Benici overran the pill. Hand pass out to McWilliams, who got taken to ground. Nesta gets involved, and the umpire says there's one too high, and will award a free kick going the way of the Magpies. And that's Sarah Darcy with the ball. Williamstown road end, half-back flank. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the match. Flying through, McCann couldn't hold on to it. Watton went again. Hurried hand pass out, trying to find Slicer. Taken away by Perkins, who put it on the left boot. Sent it to what was going to be centre-half forward, now centre-half back, as it's taken by Paige Nash. And Paige Nash, not the greatest of options. It's taken by Meg Hutchins. Hutchins unloads towards the top of the square. Whoa!
Oy.
And what happened was the mark was taken by Sarah Darcy. She fell backwards and fell over her own teammate in Nicole Hildebrand. 2 for the price of 1.
Cannoned into by Phoebe McWilliams.
And Sarah Darcy will take the resulting free kick. Mark, pardon me.
So Darcy looks to go switch the play. A mark can be taken by any player. It's seen over the boundary line by the Hawks players there. We're just outside of Hawthorn's 50. They're peppering Hawthorn. They can't quite get the reward yet. Throw in. Won by Hines, but only as far as Michaelia can. She was dispossessed, and a free kick will be going the way of Collingwood. Emma Grant plays on, goes the short option towards Malloy, and she just takes off. She handballs it to Schleicher, who gets it out to Grubb, who kicks it, looking for Bateman on Pereira. Bateman, she's given away the free kick. She didn't have eyes for the footy in the contest against Pereira.
I think Malloy's filthy because she was screaming at Grubb, I'm open, give it to me, because she's the bigger kick.
Chloe Malloy definitely could have had her third there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was not well played.
Less than 3 minutes remaining. Hawks by 11 points. Pereira, long, high. Here comes Benici. Put a hand in there. Saw it come to ground. Hines tries to work her way through. Tackle laid on by Holly Whitford. Hurry kick out by Beeson, who went to ground immediately afterwards. Benici now picks up the footy. Has to spin around. Got the hand pass away from McWilliams. Hales goes in there. Went to ground at the crucial moment. Now coming in to pick up the footballs, Michaelia Can, who got it across to Watton, then to Luke, who looked for the boundary line and went out of bounds on the full. So 2 minutes remaining. This has really got to be the play if Collingwood are going to win it and go straight through to the grand final. Loser plays next week against the winner of the NT Thunder Geelong match. And interesting, there was a signal for out of bounds on the full, and it's been overruled. It's a call for a throw-in.
Called touched.
Oh, called touch.
Touched off the boot.
Thank you.
Seems a bit strange to me. But Hales, for Collingwood, just ran to the bench with a bit of cramp.
Yeah.
She tried to kick that ball before, but was stopped by it. Mackie got the handball out the back to Dylan, whose kick was affected by the tackle. So it's just seen over the boundary line. Still on the broadcast grandstand wing here at Northport Oval, Standard Stadium. Big crowd building VFL game after this one. Watton, she won the tap down, but it was tapped up out of the contest. No one could take it. Mackie tried to appeal for a hold, but won't get it.
Now sealing out of bounds on the full because the boundary umpire saying it came off around the knee area of the Collingwood player, and they're having a conversation right now and giving it to Hawthorn.
If I was Collingwood, just for,
they've got it
for the timing of it.
So with a minute to go, it's now impossible for Collingwood to win because you've got to eliminate 30 seconds because there's no time on for the ball to come back to the middle.
Great mark by Sarah Darcy in the pack. She takes off, plays on quickly. She's taking the game on. She's looking for Slisher, but she couldn't beat the three Hawks that rose in that pack. So we'll have another throw-in in the centre of the broadcast wing. 30 seconds to go in this final quarter. Throw-in. Tapped over the back by Hines and won by Grant. Her handball. Looking for Benici but couldn't find her. Dylan from the Hawks ended up with the resulting handball but was barreled into the ground by Britt Benici. Time is definitely slipping away for Collingwood, who need 2 goals. The last play of the day here. Darcy, her kick on the siren is out of bounds on the full.
Oh, and there's push and shove on the boundary. Probably the worst possible time for the siren to go. There's push and shove. Now, we have a bit of a restricted view because the crowd's in front of us on the hill.
Down in front. I
And
want to see this.
there's players pushing and shoving on the ground. It's, out of anything, if you're an umpire, the time you hate when a push and shove breaks out is that a break or a full-time siren, because you can't throw the ball up and get play going on again. But the winners today, Hawthorn, 5-2-32 over Collingwood, 3-3-21. It's broken up now.
Trying to shake hands.
A bit of shaking hands after a bit of push and shove. But the Hawks winners today, goal kickers, Mackie 3 for the Hawks, singles to Dylan and Perkins, with the Pies 2 to Malloy and 1 to Sophie Alexander. The Hawks go to Marvel Stadium in 2 weeks' time. The new Docklands name, Marvel Stadium, to play in the VWFL Grand Final. The Pies have a date with either the NT Thunder or Geelong next week. That game, we're on here 11 o'clock tomorrow, bounce down 11:45. That is NT Thunder Geelong right here on RSN Carnival, and then from 11:45 on VFL.com.au. While they're shaking their heads and I'm getting some thoughts, I might ask a favour of Shash Doherty as well at any stage. See if you can maybe click that up, see if you can get the song, and maybe ask Paddy Hill if he has a few moments to come up here as well to join us in the commentary box. The Hawthorn coach would love to have a chat with him. But your impressions today, Neve Felton, of Hawthorn's performance and whether that type of performance is enough for them to take the flag?
I think it was a really commanding performance. They used their numbers well. They were physical, but they could back it up with actual skills and then scoreboard pressure, whereas I feel like Collingwood were trying to match their physicality, but it was all off the ball, so it didn't really amount to much. I'm not sure if it would... I like to think... I think it can go to another level, which is why I think that they're a good shot at winning the flag. There was a few, little, like Perkins' couple of missed marks, just skill things. I think Pepper Randall played a really good game today, but her kicking efficiency just isn't as good as it could be, I think. She would take a good mark, but then she'd turn it over. And so, little things like that you can work on with a week off, I think would kind of bring their game together and make it more complete, make them a real threat come grand final day.
As the Hawks girls are in the middle of the ground, patting on the back, Penny Keller-Reid's brought in the Pies into a very close-knit huddle. to have a chat with them and to make sure that they are focused and ready to go next week. By the way, viewers on VFL.com.au that might be leaving us shortly, just a reminder that 11:45 a.m. tomorrow, NT Thunder versus Geelong for the minor semi-final, the winner to take on Collingwood next week. So do join us then. The radio coverage on RSN Carnival and via rsn.net.au. That will continue through to 12:30, so you can stay with us there for the post-game show. But thanks again to those watching online at vfl.com.au, and we'll join you again tomorrow at 11:45 a.m. RSN Carnival listeners, we're on air tomorrow at 11, but as we continue our look at the sides, I guess the pleasing thing, Lucy and Neve, for the Hawks is, earlier in the year when we saw the Hawks, a bit of a reliance on Hutchins and McWilliams and Perkins, the side has seemed to have grown to be evenly balanced. We've talked and highlighted Rosie Dillon, Tamara Luke, Emma Mackey with the 3 goals today, Rebecca Beeson standing up, Julia Crockett-Grills, an impressive performance. You've really got to be excited about just how evenly weighted the team's performance has been and the players that it can call upon.
Yeah, they've definitely found a role for all of their players, and even those young ones, Michaela Can and Emerson Woods did a really good job today. There were a few things with Emerson Woods where I thought she was holding back a bit in the contest, but I think that was probably just nerves and
playing against
a bit of a lack of experience. But, you know, what I was saying before in three-quarter time, for Collingwood, we've known them as that team that has all of these players that play a role and they all come together. But today it seemed like the teams had switched places. It was Hawthorn that had the players that knew their roles, who knew what to do, how to play, and were really good at holding up the ball and playing, you know, possession football. But Collingwood, they went the opposite way. All of a sudden they were relying on Hildebrand in the back and Darcy in the back and Chloe Malloy to, you know, provide us with some Malloy magic. And it seems all of those other players, like your Alexanders, your Caseys, your Edwards, your Buchan, your Grubb, and Nash, and particularly Shayla Marsh as well, who have all been such good, you know, starring contributors. They just didn't play their roles today.
That's the one thing we raised with Pennycula Reid after they beat Melbourne University at Werribee about a month or so ago. We said with that win that Melbourne University went toe-to-toe for them for most of the game. And in the end, it was the likes of the Malloys, the senior players for the Collingwood, that had to drag the side over the line to win the game. And I said, is that a good thing, or is that actually a concern that you're waiting on these players who could either be away with injury, rotated out, or shut down by someone? And because of that, if they aren't there, do those players on the fringe, the second and third tier players, can they stand up and take the game on? And I think to date they were found out.
Yeah, I think so too.
Pepper Randall's job on Chloe Malloy cannot be understated today.
And Brittany Benici as well. Yeah.
That was a performance that saw the Pies shut down. Mind you, I'm not sure if it's because of points caps or players cap. I should note that Steph Kiyotchi wasn't actually playing in today's game as well, even though we saw her on the boundary line. So a lot of work to do, I guess, for the Pies. What do they need to look at?
I think they just need to go back and remember the reason they found themselves undefeated, or with only one loss for the season. And, you know, go back to training and remember the game style that works so well for them, that had held them in such good stead for all of the season, and simplify it down again and, you know, not let the pressure overawe them a bit. But it seems that Hawthorn just really ran over the top of them today because they were able to keep the composure under pressure and also be smart with the football. So credit to Hawthorn today, but Collingwood, I think Pennycula Reid will be, you know, putting emphasis on the fact that they sort of, you know, didn't play their natural game style.
We'll take this opportunity to take a very quick break here on RSN Carnival. Today, the Hawks winners over the Pies.
You're listening to Carnival on digital radio, live streaming around the world, and on the RSN smartphone app. See the listening guide at rsn.net.au.
Even I could. Hey guys, I'm Jess. And I'm Lisa from the Veronicas for RAD. Recording artists, actors and athletes against drink driving. What does it mean to be a designated driver? It means you're the friend who's agreed not to drink, not the person who's had the least to drink. It's cool to do and it shows you care about your friends. If you screw up just once, then your life changes forever. Face it, their lives are in your hands. So why don't you and your friends take it into